Man, that's a GPS we've got to do soon, man, the glam rock era. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And the tension around here today, ladies and gentlemen, you can cut it with a knife. I mean, you could just feel this battle lining up and people picking sides, and there's just no way out of it. And it's all coming to a head. You know, it's one of those deals where you try to keep your head low and you try to get along with everybody, but it's not going to happen. And today, I believe, is the day that it all comes down. Now, Doug Benson is caught in between the two warring parties. And I'm going to say this, Doug, you've got to make a pick. I don't know if there's a right move to make, but you got to make the move. There's only two ways to go. Mike Pence or Tim Kaine. You can't be friends with both of them. They're going in different directions. They're debating tonight. Pence, Kaine, Pence. What's Doug Benson going to do? Weed ain't going to help you now, Doug. Weed ain't going to help you this time, brother. I'll tell you the excitement level of this debate tonight, knowing two guys. And Tim Kaine has already started some stuff. He just put out a tweet. I'm looking into it. It's at Mike Pence. How do Trump's nuts taste? And then, and here's the thing about Pence. He's good. He just went back and said, asked your mom.
Oh, that's good.
It's the best line ever. Asked your mom. So, is everybody watching? Are you watching the debate tonight?
I'm going to watch. Yes, I am. If I can stay awake.
I would, but tonight is the night that I like to play my taped version of Kevin Can Wait. So I'd already had that planned. This is a good one. He gets a giant sandwich that he made for himself, but then his wife comes in. So he puts it on the couch, throws an Afghan on it, and said it's his drunk friend sleeping. I have a feeling he's not going to get away with it.
That sounds way better.
I know. It's going to be good. Kevin, you can wait, my friend.
I mean, is he still going to eat that sandwich? It's already been covered in Afghan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care. It's a really big sandwich. A Dagwood, some people go out of their way to call it. We got a big TV star stopping in here in a couple minutes. In about how long? 10 minutes?
I'd say, 10 to 12 minutes.
All right, so let's clean this place up right away.
Okay. I want it looking
Vito,
really nice.
Yeah. Vito, you're on fucking point for this one, buddy.
I won't be weird.
It's impossible.
Thank you. No, try not to look too much like Chris. Because the last time we had a major TV star in here, she was like, look at those two! This is so fucking weird.
She wasn't wrong.
No,
it's very
wasn't.
surreal.
It was embarrassing for me.
It's not my fault. I've been wearing black T-shirts for like 6 months now. Chris just started going back to them. That's not fair.
I'm not going back to them. I just haven't done laundry in a few.
Still?
You know what? I don't want to hear about the laundry. You're just fucking... These are your clothes. Stop making excuses. The fact that you own them, these are your clothes. You right now, you look like if the guy from Mr. Robot stopped caring. You're Mr. Rowboat is who you are. But there's an autumn wind out there. The autumn wind came creeping in. I like to say to everybody I see in my building and over at the coffee shop, favorite time of the year.
No, I love this time of the year.
Oh,
sweater weather.
Brisk.
Do you just love fall?
Oh, my God, do I love fall. You know, the colors and everything.
Plus, I'm addicted to pumpkin spice. I mean, pumpkin spice everything. Am I right, guys?
We love the autumn.
I mean, are we all white or what?
Well, why do you throw it into a white thing?
I don't know why, but there's this stereotype that white people love autumn.
Who's saying that? Blacks?
Literally everyone says it on the internet.
It's
a
meme.
white.
Wait, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
They say white people.
Oh, I'm not on the internet. That's what's wrong with me.
White people love autumn.
Yeah.
They love pumpkin spice. They love sweaters. They love light jackets. They love scarves.
Hugs.
Look, let me just say, this is a stereotype that I fall into.
That's the thing that really bothers me about it, is that it's not like I don't love autumn.
Are we saying like Louis J. Gomez doesn't like the autumn?
I bet Louis J. Gomez does not go apple picking. I bet he does not have decorative small gourds like I do around my apartment right now.
I did not know that white people like autumn is, I'll just call it a meme, whether I'm right or wrong. I think if I say meme, I seem like I'm keeping up.
We're in meme territory.
I say to people, now, I was just on the phone with your Florida relatives.
Yes.
I told them the temperature, and they were like, oh my God, I wish I was there right now. And
we're bracing for another hurricane.
Can I tell you, I felt a little pride about that.
You felt good.
Because we're really in the autumn, and they never are.
Yeah.
But white people love the autumn.
Yeah, and I can't deny it either.
Are they taunting us about it, though? Like,
I guess. But it's one of those things, like, that might be a stereotype, but why doesn't everyone love autumn? I mean, I'll admit, nobody likes those people who, like, want to drink. They just talk about pumpkins, but I don't know why the pumpkin
I don't think
spice.
pumpkin spice is, I mean, that's new to autumn. Now, a nice cider, sure.
Love
it.
But, I mean, don't we like the trees changing?
Yeah.
By the way, if you go up into New England right now and you pull into like a small inn, it's like $900 a month. I mean, a night, because that's how many people love the autumn. White people, I should say. I did not know that this was a thing, but I have to cop to it.
Do you like mulled wine? Then you're going to love.
Oh, yeah. Mulled wine is shit.
It's the best season, though.
It's a really solid season.
I always tell people when I go, if you're going to visit New York, come anytime from the autumn right up to, I'll say, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's fucking, whatever. But this time is like centralized. I mean, how many movies have you seen in New York that are like rom-coms? And it's the autumn. And they're like, I love autumn in New York.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Leaves, kids going back to school.
Just pumpkins in the park.
All the time.
We better get our time in the park because, it's a long winter. I did not know that this was something that we were mocked for.
Yeah. Now, when I see people discussing this on the internet, the white people, I don't like the fact that I fall into the stereotype. Like, for example, I have two jackets. I have a denim jacket and a leather jacket that is only appropriate for a very short window in the fall and a very, very short window in the spring.
Yeah.
And I wear the shit out of them, and I'm very excited because I literally get to wear them like 2 months out of the year because then it's either too hot or too cold.
I'll tell you the best time autumn in New York, too. And that's the Jewish holidays, where yesterday I could just live like that girl. Taxi! Taxi would come flying over. I mean, if there was some kind of like thing where all the Jewish people went to heaven, I know they don't have that, but Christians do, where you just disappear and go up. The city would be so livable. I mean, there's so much more room.
And more autumn for us to enjoy.
More autumn and less bitching in the stores and deciding how the store would run better.
More everything.
Yeah.
I became very aware of this over the weekend because I was, as I said, I was picking out some small decorative gourds.
Right.
Because I was like, I would like to put this, different places on my kitchen table, on my coffee table. And I kind of looked around at the people who were in this farmer's market, and it was just like the whitest people in existence, and they looked so happy, and they were all like wearing scarves.
Am I the only one that's excited about bringing out my salt and pepper pilgrims? Do other people have that? Look at this. It's like a little pilgrim. Little boy is salt, little girl. So I did not know that this thing went down. I copped to the stereotype.
Yeah, it's real. It's a real stereotype.
Now so that's the thing. White people love the autumn. Mm-hmm. Black people, I guess they shoot at cups. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know all the stuff.
Very popular meme for a few years now.
Where do you get these memes out online? Where do you get all this from?
Oh, they're on Tumblr and Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to go to Tumblr then.
A lot of GIFs.
I've never really understood Tumblr.
It's hard to
I look at
understand.
it and the format of the comments, I feel very lost.
It's like you like things, but then you follow people. I don't know.
All right, somebody called in and they just hung up. And they go, if autumn's so great, why is there so many songs about summertime? Look, everybody likes summertime. But summertime is not a home time. Summertime, you got to be on vacation. You're in the mountains. You're at the shore. State fair. Autumn is stay close to home. Football games. Just people just going around, enjoying
Exactly.
the home life.
A lot of the pros of fall involves baking things, decorating things in the hearth.
Yeah, if I could use the word chili, it's about to get in where you can have a pot of chili and enjoy yourself.
Sounds good.
Pence, Kane, tonight, which one loves autumn more? Answer, tie.
You're both very white.
I don't know why. I mean, first of all, I think it's dumb that the people running for president debate. I brought that up before. There's no thing for it. But to have the two VPs debate is really dumb.
Yeah.
And I've never picked a candidate because I like their VP. And yeah, I'm looking right at you, Sarah Palin, who everyone said was going to change everything. No.
But could a VP make you not vote for someone? Let's say you liked a candidate a lot, but you really hated their VP choice. Could that make you not vote for someone?
I've never done that.
Right, because it's normally a safe bet.
I mean, they would have to, yeah. They picked the dullest person. McCain picked Palin, and that was way outside, and Palin was actually, a bigger deal. But McCain got exactly the same vote that he would have gotten. He got exactly the same vote that Mitt Romney got.
Right.
So it didn't really change anything. I guess if someone picked Manson, Marilyn or Charlie, they would then get my vote. Because I'd say, this shit's getting edgy. Should we talk about who our big TV guest is? Because I think it may be one of two, I would say, the biggest TV stars of all time.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, they're running 5 minutes late. Just want you to know that as well.
Well, we had Alan Alda in for a Unmasked before.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz, in for an Unmasked before. Those have got to be in the mix. And then certainly the gentleman who's coming in here, Mr. Ted Danson. So, I mean, you take MASH and Happy Days, those are some of the biggest shows of all time. But Ted Danson was in Cheers, obviously one of the biggest shows of all time. But then also Becker, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Bored to Death, which was an incredible show, CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, those things are always gigantic, Fargo, and that was amazing, and now his new show, The Good Place. He's in multiple hit shows.
It's like
all the time,
quantity and quality both. Like all of those shows were super successful, and he has so many under his belt. I mean, maybe because of that, you might say biggest TV star of all time.
He's got to be in the running, but is also just the fact that you believe him in all these roles. I mean, you should never be able to come back from Sam Mayday Malone. It's too big of a role. You know what I mean? It's too big where you're just calling him Sam Malone.
Right.
And yet no one does.
No, that is very true. That usually when you have that type of success for the rest of your life, most people never learn your name, and they're just like,
yeah, like we said, we'll call Fonzie.
Yeah.
Instead of his real name, Arthur Fonzarelli. Bored to Death is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Love him on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Love.
He was amazing on board at that character, just this crazy pothead, was just fucking amazing.
And he was so different than Sam Malone.
Yes.
But then you turn around and Fargo, he's just one of the great characters on that show, and he's amazing. He's break your heart amazing in that. And it's nothing like any of the other characters we said.
And Becker's totally different from everything else. I watched a lot of Becker.
Becker's a prick. Yeah. Becker's a really bad person.
When you can see he's very easy to tap into that like really likable, fun guy. And then, he has the ability to do that as well.
But in Bored to Death, he was, he's what I sometimes refer to as gay heterosexuals, where they have everything that people like about homosexuals.
Right.
But they're heterosexual.
They're stylish. They're just like, they're cool. They have like a essence about them.
But then highly nervous, you know what I mean? Like things are really bad all of a sudden. Yeah, particular. That's the word. That was such a great show. It was sincerely my favorite show on the air. Fargo was my favorite show last year. This year, I don't know what it's going to be. Westworld, Times, I'm still in the beginning stages of everything.
A lot of options.
I'm still watching Bull. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
Yeah, it's driving me nuts.
Dr. Bull? He's a doctor, right?
Yeah, he's a psychologist.
I get it. Okay. Bull.
He tries to figure out juries. That's his thing.
Juries. Yeah. He's juries.
Jury what? I don't know. I saw a trailer for it. I thought it was a ridiculous concept.
Okay, let's not run each other down, Chris. Or
he enjoys Bull.
All right, okay.
And I love Autumn.
So what?
I love Autumn too. I'm white.
I don't think you do. Because when the gourd thing came up, you didn't even seem like you're in that.
I don't even. What is a gourd?
Oh my God!
How can you love Autumn if you don't know?
Praise the gourd. Praise the gourd. You've never heard that expression?
No.
He's Googling gourds.
Acid reflux comes up.
How did you spell it?
Oh my God!
G-O-R-D? Oh, gourd.
Oh.
I guess I'm not
jury. I got jury duty.
People buy these things?
I just
see
told
them
you I
everywhere.
did.
You can't go into a restaurant in New York and not have them all over the place.
Is it food or just decorative?
Well, it's decorative.
It's food.
It looks like a plant.
It is food. What do you mean?
I swear to God, I've never heard the word gourd before. I don't know what this thing is.
You never heard of Val Gourd?
Oh, okay.
You got it now, right? You got the internet.
I'm
gonna make that a meme later.
Is it food?
Chris, I want you to go home and make a jack-o'-lantern with an apple. It's really fun and it's cute.
Oh my God, yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
We'll give it a shot.
You never heard someone say you're out of your fucking gourd?
Yeah.
Your gourd, meaning like, look.
Like your big head.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense, that saying.
Saying?
Saying?
Did you just say doing?
Gourd to death, I'm sad and lonely. That was a good fucking show. Well, The Good Place is the new show. What's the girl's name who's in this show with her? I just love her.
Kristen Bell?
Kristen Bell, yeah.
She's just fantastic.
Yeah, she's very cute. She's
but tough and kind of the Marion kind.
Charming.
Yeah. And she's married to Dax.
Yeah. And they're beloved.
Oh, God, yes.
People just fucking love that couple.
Well, you want to talk about a couple that people love. Ted Danson's married to Mary Steenburgen.
I know.
And she came in and did our show one time. And sincerely, if she would have said, "Will you marry me?" everybody in the studio would have said yes. I mean, she's just, there's something about her that's just unbelievable.
Yeah. She's very cool. She seems like a really cool person.
She's cool, but she's kind of funny. But you ever hear the term like good in the room? You know what I mean? Like if someone says something funny, she gets it.
Right.
Like her best friend is like Larry David. That's how.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Like she was saying, like they have a place up in Martha's Vineyard. And she was saying like Larry David has been living in our guest house all summer and he's driving me nuts. And I'm thinking Larry David has enough money that he could buy 3 houses and then surround you and just keep going. But he stays in the guest house.
Yeah.
Hey, Anna, what's up?
Hi, buddies.
Hey,
How
buddy
are
girl. What's up?
you? So, one of the soundtracks of my life is Cousins. It's one of his most underrated movies, I think, with the lovely Isabella Rossellini. I was obsessed since I was like 6 with that movie.
Yeah, it's because it's kind of sexy for a kid. You know?
It's kind of what?
It's kind of sexy for a kid, you know? It's,
Right.
it's borderline taboo.
Oh, my God. I know. It seems crazy my mother let me watch it when I was that young, but I loved it. It was just so beautiful with her and just, I think, so underrated with him. Obviously.
Ted Danson, he also saved the guy who saved Private Ryan. You know what I mean? Like he was looking out for Tom Hanks in that. My first movie that I saw Ted Danson in, and I'm like this, and it was a very small part, Body Heat. And he was, you ever see Body Heat?
I've never seen
First of all, people who haven't seen Body Heat don't like movies. This might be the sexiest movie of all time.
Yeah, I can even remember the cover, like what it looked like, because it was even.
And then remember, Ted Danson was just dancing on the boardwalk, just like for this thing. And this is like pre-Cheers, and it's a small part, and he's just fucking unbelievable in it. He just crushes it. And then Cousins, like she said, 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah,
was him. People love that movie.
Oh yeah.
You want to go back and look at a movie that comes across like 3 gay guys lived together. It's that movie. The 80s were so gay.
But I loved that movie as a kid.
Everybody loved that movie. That movie's beloved. It's 3 successful guys, 3 successful bachelors, and then they have to raise a baby, and then they they love it after a while.
They live together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lived together in some giant, it wasn't even like a townhouse. It was
like
a giant,
almost like a loft, right? Like it was a big open kind of living room type.
But right on the park.
Yeah.
Like if you watched that, they'd go down and catch a cab on Central Park West. This apartment today would be like $23 million.
Right. Like it seems like each one of them could have had their own like moderately sized apartment, not on the park, and been fine to not have lived together.
Well, this is the funny thing, because I had Steve Gutenberg in, and I had to read his book, The Gutenberg Bible, his biography. So he had a bunch of hit movies in a row. I mean, he was doing absolutely unbelievably great with hits. The Police Academies, and then the old people Cocoon, and things were just going his way. So he felt like a young movie star. So he gets this role, and it's Ted Danson, from Cheers, and then the big guy with the mustache,
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, from Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii, and I'm putting out, I'm solving crimes.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, everyone. He said women were running over him. Steve Gutenberg said he had never been around that kind of fame. Like wherever he went with those guys, things would just explode. That they would, because this is the 80s.
Sure.
And he's like getting off planes to do this thing, and people are just running to the planes like it's the Beatles. But nobody was like, "Oh my God, it's Steve Gutenberg."
I love that.
And he was like legitimately a movie star. But he had said, "I never saw that kind of fame."
But you still gotta feel like if they're doing that to your group, you're like, well, I'm in then.
Oh, I would be fine with it.
Like, I'm one of the Beatles then.
Yeah. I would just be like, well, then I'm Linda McCartney. That's fine for me. I don't give a shit. Everybody cares about us. The Gutenberg Bible. Actually, when you meet Steve Gutenberg, it's almost like you've known him your whole life. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, he looks and sounds and acts the same as in his movies. So it's like a second cousin that you haven't seen.
So it just feels very familiar.
Yeah, it feels like, hey man, what's happening? There's some people have a level of fame where you're like, oh, I can't believe I'm looking at this person. And other people just feel like, oh, I've known you for a long time. What's up, dude? I said this before when Carol Burnett came in, and she had Tim Conway and I'll just say Mama from Mama's Family. They felt like my relatives from California that I hadn't seen since I was a kid. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had with anyone.
And you probably didn't expect you would feel that way. Like, I'm sure
Hell no.
I'm sure you knew, oh, this is going to be really cool. But
I thought it was going to, obviously a big deal, but those people felt so familiar. Anyway, the new show is The Good Place, and it's a fun, kind of surreal, fun little comedy. Let's bring in Ted Danson. Ted Danson is with us. He's one of the biggest TV stars of all time. He's done so many shows, and yet you love radio best of all.
I do. I don't know. I guess I pose too much when there's a camera around and I forget to actually talk and have a conversation.
It changes everything.
Yeah, it does.
Changes everything. I think even you're at a party and someone breaks out the phone, everybody changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
And radio couldn't be more relaxing. People can lay down while they're doing it.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah. We don't have to wear pants if we don't want to.
And once again, what a coincidence.
Hey, are you excited or you care tonight about the debate that's going down? Do you think the VP debate is important?
Yes, I do. It's just more of watching the decision making at the top, who they picked. I got to meet Mike. I'm really, Tim, sorry. I'm really interested in hearing what they both say. And it's a chance to get to know people more because really we've been focused just, on Mr. Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. And even not that much on Hillary. I mean, Trump, and I know that you've been around for a lot of elections like I have, and I've never seen something where one guy was being talked about all the time, whether it was bad, good, whatever. It's almost like Hillary is just trying to stay in the pocket and stay quiet and letting him do his thing.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited. I mean, that's a whole conversation about news in this country.
Right.
Are we becoming the most, the best entertained and least informed country in the world? That's a real conversation. And, Mr. Trump is very entertaining, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about the first debate. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You watch two people, talking mostly about substance and you can see their behavior. And I think a lot of people made up their minds watching that debate. A lot of people who hadn't already made up their minds.
Yeah. I think it's almost impossible to think that people hadn't by that point. I know.
It is surprising.
But we we're in this field. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
We're in this field, and so we pay more attention. There are a lot of people who don't, whose lives are crazy or busy or whatever, and they're just now starting to focus. We assume because we devour all the press and all of that everyone is, but they're not.
And also, if you surround yourself with people who are like you, or if you live in a city where people vote very similarly to you, it's hard to imagine what is going on in another place. It's very difficult to say, how are they not seeing this from this perspective? But it's out there.
Right. I love asking people, I've known the Clintons for 23 years. I am doing everything I can to make sure she gets elected. I'm clearly your run-of-the-mill liberal actor from Hollywood. That's who I am. But I still love asking people, now, if you had to defend, as if they were your family, the point of view of the people who are voting for Donald Trump, or if you're in that area, the people who ask yourself, the people who are voting for Hillary Clinton, to represent their point of view fairly, with integrity, really try to understand what it is that they're caring about or feeling or whatever. It's so interesting. I sometimes am just as guilty on my side of the fence of not understanding the other side and kind of, dismissing or being angry with, as opposed to literally trying to understand their point of view. I mean, and I think a lot of things are contributing to that. We can isolate ourselves by only talking to those people who believe like we do. And the internet is making that even, harder to reach across the aisle, as it were. Anyway.
I think we would understand each other more. And I think that's the next place that we have to get, because no matter who gets elected, the other folks fight against them for 4 years now. It's not even like every 4 years the argument breaks out.
That's true.
Every day. So I think that we'd be best served if we realized how much of our personality is traditional and how much of our personality is progressive. Because I think everyone has those values.
Yeah.
You know, there's very few of us that aren't very traditional and very few of us who aren't progressive as well. We want progress.
Yeah.
And then we don't want to let go of everything that we've enjoyed over the years.
It feels like, if there was a storm or a disaster, and you see this all the time, Americans come together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if somebody shows up on your doorstep, in need, starving, and there's a storm, whatever, you invite them in, you sit them down at the table, and you embrace them. By and large, that would happen, I would think, in pretty much any area of this country. Then somebody around the table says, here's what I believe. Boom. You're off and running.
Yeah.
As soon as I introduce my belief system, then you somehow challenge each other in this life or death way. And if I don't defend my belief system, then I am not, who am I? I have nothing if I don't have this belief system. Whereas the truth is, we all really do want the same thing. I'm sure there's some wacky people on both ends of the spectrum that just want to blow stuff up. But by and large, we want to be healthy, happy, be able to feed ourselves, make sure our children, have a chance at life like we did. It's the same thing, but our belief systems get in the way.
But, even when you say that, when you watch a foreign film, you're watching a film and it could be from Iran or China, and you're like, oh, I don't understand this at all. And in no time at all, you see that those characters want those things that you just brought up. Yeah. And then you start to think, oh, that guy's like my uncle. That person reminds me of my friend from high school. It's not that different. So we set up these weird things all the time to act like we're more different than we are.
And most of that has to do with identity. Like, that's because I think there's this instinct that we all have that we want to belong to something and we want to identify. So by creating those boundaries and barriers, you're over here and I'm here, it's just because we want to define ourselves so badly.
And it's getting scarier and scarier because the world is changing. We have gone from a bunch of nations to a globe. We are a global community, and that has its confrontations, and it kind of feels like the Wild West right now as we get used to the fact that, wait a minute, are you saying we're all the same? Even though most, the core of most religions say that, that we are all the same, that we all have an impact on each other and we're all important. It's a confront. You like to think that in church, but when it comes down to it, you want to be special and have your territory and your little plot of land, and you'll defend it, with your life, kind of stuff.
Well, that's a great segue to your TV show because it's about the afterlife, and you're saying all the religions got a little bit of it right, but that one kid, the
one stoner from Calgary in the 1970s who took mushrooms, got 90% of it right.
I love that because I've been in that conversation so many times in my life. When everyone's like, shouldn't we just chill and put on music? I'm like, no. I almost got this. I think I know where I'm going.
I figured it out.
But that's what's kind of fun about that.
The Good Place. Yeah, I'll give it a plug. Thursday nights, 8:30. Mike Schur, who ran The Office for many years and co-created Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, really bright guy, and he just thought, what can I do that will really challenge me? What's an interesting idea? So the show's about the afterlife. It's not your basic heaven and hell that you were taught about in school. And in the afterlife, there's a good place and there's a bad place. And this takes place in the good place. And I have designed the good place is divided into neighborhoods. And I got to finally, I'm an eternal being. After 300 years of being an apprentice, I finally got to design this neighborhood, and I'm so tickled. I'm middle management over my head, but so excited. And along comes, in this class coming up to the afterlife, Kristen Bell. And she's a clerical error, and she shouldn't be there. And all hell breaks loose because it's like throwing sand into this perfect Swiss watch. But it's really about something. The show's about what it means to be good, to have a moral center. And it's fun. It's really fun.
And again, that, what is next is people have sat and talked about that as long as there's been language. That's always the amazing thing to me. And, now it's one of those things that it's tougher for people to bring up. Luckily, if you've had a drug and alcohol problem in your past, people are willing to talk about it every day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I love and that thing where things will come up, where people will just feel that honest spot that they can talk about what matters.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost like we were talking about with politics. People are almost afraid to lean into it.
Lean into
the discussion of what is the purpose of all this, and is there an afterlife, and what is having a good moral center about anymore?
Yeah. I watched my mother die for like 2 weeks, and it was for her, it was like a celebration. She was ready, and she had her faith, and was, so it was like a celebration, and she was still, able to communicate and all of that. And I remember all of my studying, all of my philosophical thoughts, all my good ideas went flying out the window, because dying is so intensely real. Doesn't get much more real than that. Birth and then dying.
Right.
Very real
similar.
stuff.
Yeah.
Very real
similar.
stuff. And I realized I have no idea. I'm just guessing. She may know at this point, or is about to know. So I've given up. I mean, yes, if I had to be a betting man, I could say, well, I think this, but I've boiled it down to trying to do the right thing in each moment. And boy, do I fail, but that seems to be my kind of guiding light. Just try to do the right thing right now, because basically what the right thing is in every moment, and try to be kind. I think kindness goes a long way.
Isn't it an amazing experience too when you're with somebody when they're ending their life, that feeling there's almost an energy that takes place in that room? When Gail was little, we brought her Ann home, and it was about the same thing, about 2 weeks. And we all hung out there, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And you were pretty young.
Yeah, I was young. And I think because of that, because I was young, it was kind of my first experience with death. And then in many ways, it's informed me of how I feel about it to this day.
Yeah.
Which was a very intense experience. But yeah, you're right. There was joy in it, and the way she was, like her personality in that time, where she felt kind of like she was expanding outward, and the way that she communicated with me, but also, she was communicating with her past very vocally, and she was speaking to people in the room. So it was a very, it was a good experience for me. I
bet she was that way in life as well.
She was a very spiritual person. I mean, she was a Catholic, but she was a spiritual person in general, I think. Yeah.
But at a certain point, I mean, she was talking with us for a long time, and then she was talking to people who were no longer here, people from her past, and it got slower and slower down. But we would just while we just let her do these things, and it was really, really something. And there was something in that room. I don't know what it was, and I don't try to guess what it was. But for me, it always felt like there was some kind of an odd portal that was taking place. And after she passed away, that feeling left that room. And
also to learn how to be there and be in service to that person, which is to my mother's credit a lot, because she really knew how to do that instinctively, I think, but to kind of make the experience for them and not to try to control it or change it.
Her passage, not yours.
Exactly.
Whatever they need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they want to be fearful, then don't go, no.
Right.
It's so, I so admire people who actually feel like they are either at peace with or are fully aware that they are going to die at some point in their life, and they live their life from that point of view. I'm the guy who goes, it's a rumor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it applies to me, but I know. You're always trying to dodge the inevitable.
Right. And of course you can't. You know what I mean? Everybody, as unique as that experience feels, it's as universal as birth, you know?
So whoever designed this, pretty cool.
Right.
That each and every one of us, you know, have to go through this, have to flounder our way through life, have to keep bumping into our, you know, ourselves and try to grow, knowing that you end up, you know, and then you die. You know, whoever designed that, you have to believe.
Yeah.
You have to believe in something, because that's pretty amazing.
One time I was talking to Quincy Jones, and he was going, he goes, I'm just dying to meet the architect. He goes, when you think about bees and then elephants, and I'm like, that is so true. I mean, it's phenomenal. But you're playing that role of somebody who comes up with every little detail.
Yeah, except I'm a total, idiot when it comes to, I fail miserably in my job.
We were talking before you got here about how many great shows. We were all the biggest bored to death fans.
Wow, wasn't that fun?
It was unbelievable, and it was like the perfect timing for Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that
true.
thing was just blooming when you guys were doing it. And now that's everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wherever you go, there's a little Brooklyn in every town.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Brooklyn was the new Manhattan.
Yeah.
Now, I'm afraid we're going to have to find a new Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can't afford to live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Well, you're further out in Brooklyn, and we got a Queens guy over there. Is Queens going to be the new Brooklyn?
I think it's going to be a new Brooklyn.
They've been saying that for a while.
Yeah. My bet that I keep doing that if Trump wins, I'm going to leave the county. And I can't get people really looking at Westchester. You know, I can't get really people to get upset about
strong
it.
Message.
Canada is going to be building a wall very quickly.
Well, we were just up, and they're nervous about us. You know, I kind of feel like we're the drunks next door. You know what I mean? Like we're like, what are they doing over there? Are they going to spill into our area? I think the whole world's watching this.
Yeah,
election.
you know, it's the Wild West.
Yeah,
and I like to think of it as an extinction spasm. You know, where when people know that they're on their way out, they flounder and flip around and go a little nuts. I think we are becoming global. It's this, generation coming up. You know, if you talk about, gay rights, they look at you like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Of course. What are you talking about? You know, they are much more tolerant about a lot of things. And the world is changing.
Well, isn't it?
Look at the demographics. Yeah. And I think it scares some people.
Well, isn't it amazing? Just a couple of years ago, people were talking about gay rights every moment. Doesn't show up at all. At this election. No one, as upset as people were about gay marriage, no one brings it up. Now,
I know,
it's
that's
just
exciting.
Accept it and we move on, and it's,
Which it should prove, if anything, why people make such a ruckus just to get let in the door. Because once you get let in the door, you're in.
You're in.
So everyone's like, why don't you just be over there and do your thing? Because in 5 years, you'll be fine with this.
Yeah.
So just let this happen.
Well, now that I'm in, slam the gate. Don't let
Well, that's what eventually happens. Like, there was a time that Italians weren't white people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Italians.
Irish.
Everybody has to go through their time when they're the bottom rung. But, someday Mexicans will be incredibly conservative.
Right.
We'll be like, okay, who aren't we letting in this time?
Sure.
But that is a strange thing about America, is like we battle change and then act like it's always been there, I
know.
Well, when you look at, it was a couple Republican conventions ago where they were celebrating Martin Luther King, and you could just roll thinking about that because people look back as now, this wonderfully accepted guy, and he had to fight every single day of his life. Muhammad Ali had to fight every single day of his life. Now they're like, perhaps the most beloved American just passed away, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But that's the American way. That's change. Well, best of luck to you, my friend. And
thank you. Fun talking to you.
Also, really thank you for all the work that you've done over the years. Just an amazing body of work.
I have had delicious fun. I've been very lucky to be around
And Mary is one of the.
No.
Yeah.
Have you talked to her?
I have, and I was telling this to these guys. It was a few years ago. But if she would have said to anybody in the room, "Will you marry me?" Everybody would have said yes. Everybody is crazy about her. The Good Place. It's a great new show, and of course, everyone also loves Kristen Bell. She's just
unbelievable.
Just the coolest.
Delicious, yeah.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Fun
Coming
talking
through.
to you.
So that's our new friend Ted Danson.
That was so cool.
See what I mean about sometimes you meet somebody who feels like you've known them his whole life?
Yes, I absolutely had that feeling where I'm like, why am I so comfortable to sit here and talk to Ted Danson?
Because you've known him literally your entire life. And then he turns out to be the guy that you think he is. And I like the fact that he was saying, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the liberal from Hollywood. You know, I get it. But he's open to it. And honest, you know, this election have gotten so crazy. I was watching one of the news programs, and people were sitting around acting like, man, do you think this has gotten too crazy? Like Glenn Beck is like, maybe we better slow everything down. And I'm not even making that up. He goes, I just saw Michael Moore in here. I don't really know his work, and I doubt if he knows mine, but we got to stop feeling like we're all enemies. And because everyone's weirded out. It's so constant.
I think that there is a real fatigue this time around. Like, I think you get it every election season. There ends up being just a little bit of exhaustion from discussing it and seeing it in the news. But I don't think that there's ever been one that just dominated the way this is now. And you go on any website, and it doesn't even matter what the focal point of that website is.
No, you'll see something about Trump or Hillary, and it'll be the top.
It'll be multiple stories. It'll be 4 different stories about Trump and 1 about Hillary, and then something else. You know what I mean? Like it has taken the full attention of everyone.
Well, something else would probably be Kim Kardashian. That would be the one other thing.
Yeah, but it's like it's just constant, and as soon as you learn the last story, like 3 new ones pop up. Like you can't, unless you are listening and watching all the time. There's just constant, like some other crazy story. Like, yeah, but did you hear what he said about this?
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, well, that isn't as bad as you're letting on. You know what I mean? Like you're just used to doing this every day. That Chris's hero, Julian Assange, was supposed to just drop the October surprise in the middle of the night. So as soon as I woke up this morning, I went to see what it was.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It was supposed to be for the 10th anniversary of WikiLeaks, and he says he has 10 million documents, and he's going to release 1 million documents a week for the next 10 weeks leading up to it.
I can't go through 1 million documents a week, dude.
He hasn't gone through 10 million documents. Otherwise, he'd release 4.
Just find one that's good, and that'll be it. But the whole thing of that thing of, I forget who they did it to recently, said that somebody was an asshole or ballless or something. We all do that. You know what I mean? Like, if you had to stand by, like, the worst thing that you ever text your friend about someone else, I'm like, I'm sure Vito has said, Ron is such a dick that he wants us to do this.
Yeah, here you
That's
go,
what life is about. That's why you don't say it to the person, right? You say it about him, and then you go on with your life.
Yeah, and when somebody discloses that kind of information, like, somebody else was saying this about you, or that person becomes an informant, nobody turns around and goes, what a shitty person you are.
I do that to people.
Do you ever do that to me? Like, do you ever? Because people should expect that people vent, and it isn't the full truth. Usually that's the truth in the moment.
Yeah. And
an hour later, you might feel an entirely different way. You're just being reactionary.
That was the Sony leaks that they were saying, George Clooney is a moron or whatever.
Angelina Jolie sucks.
Yeah. But that's because they work with those people.
Right.
And they're sick of them.
Yeah, and they're working out contracts and money and all this other shit. And they're dragging their feet or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe everyone's being an asshole.
Yeah. So sometimes you're going to, instead of saying Angelina, you're going to say fuck mouth wants us to change everything. This shit. But I see no different than that, than the fappening where everybody's like, don't look at those pictures. I mean, that's somebody's personal rants and raves. It's their business, really.
Right.
You can't take it out of that context and bring it into the world. But, we were talking about this election and how crazy everyone's gotten. There was a piece that said 7% of us have lost friends over this election. That you disagree with a friend about the election and then you drop them. And because of my family, I don't have that privilege of disagreeing.
Yeah,
with someone.
family and coworkers. I don't know. It happens all the time. I don't know.
Well, Dino is our big Trump guy.
Yeah, Trumpy.
But he's not voting.
Just rooting. Just really,
rooting.
really opening polls.
You're a fan.
No.
You're a fan more than a citizen.
So he's gonna show up to the polls like what, in costume with like?
He just feels like this. He's going to go to the Mets game, right?
Uh-huh.
But he's not going to get an at bat. You know, he's just going to watch it and root.
Sure. Okay.
And I have a feeling that Chris doesn't vote either.
I know that he doesn't.
I always vote, Ron.
First of all, he lied to me about
about what?
He lied about voting in the primaries, and I don't even know why he lied. He could have just said no, but I showed up and I was like, yeah, I just voted. And he said, yeah, me too.
It was the sticker that did me in because I didn't get a voting sticker. You're like, where's your sticker?
And then you were like, I don't know. And then you showed up and immediately said, there's no way he's telling you the truth. And he was like, yeah, I lied. I'm like, but why? Why just lie to a friend? I didn't even ask who he voted for. He just wanted to be like, yeah, I voted. He didn't. He didn't. It's a very strange lie.
Can't wait to vote for president.
You are not even registered, are you?
I believe I am a registered Democrat as far as I can remember. I remember voting I think the first Obama election I voted, and I was the only white guy in my neighborhood voting. It was very weird. I didn't realize, like,
in those days, you were the only white guy in your neighborhood.
That's probably what it was.
That neighborhood has changed. Don't know if you want to plug our podcast while we're talking with Chris Vito voting. Oh, yeah. You guys have your new podcast up on the iBank.
Big Brother and the Holding Company, episode 1, up.
Which one of you is Big Brother and which one of you is the holding company?
I'm Big Brother.
Now, this is your 19th podcast that you're doing every month. Explain to people what your podcast is about.
Big Brother and the Holding Company is a podcast about Big Brother Over the Top, the first edition of Big Brother to be not on television, but only online.
Now, wouldn't this be the worst one to do a podcast for?
No, it's the best one to do the podcast for because this is the season of the show that needs a podcast because it's only feeds.
I know, but I don't watch the feeds. I've watched all the seasons before. Like, I would have been a perfect guest for you guys if this was on TV.
Yeah,
but I would be a terrible guest.
I wanted to start watching this season, and I honestly started watching the very first day on the feeds, and I haven't turned it back on since. And I'm just getting my updates from them.
We're aggregating it for you. We're bringing you. We got Joker's updates. We got all these other websites. We're finding out what everybody else is saying. We're telling you what we think, what they think, and what you should tune in for.
No, but here's the deal. I'm caught up right now between Westworld and Timeless. Why aren't you doing shows on this? None of you guys saw Timeless last night?
I didn't see Timeless.
All right. There is a great tradition of shows that time travel. I think maybe Time Tunnel was the first, but you got shows like Sliders. We've had it a million times. It's the same show.
It's Sliders?
It's still a show from somewhere, anyone between 5th grade and 9th grade would be the strong focus of this.
That was Sliders for me.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that show.
Love
and I
Sliders.
saw Answer Timeless. I'm like, this is Sliders, just with a different name.
If you would have, but you could have also said this is Time Tunnel. That's the same thing. They go back in time, and Time Tunnel did this in the 60s. But for some reason, They're just ending up on the most special days in history.
Yeah, that's the most annoying part.
Like, for some reason, they went right back to the Hindenburg.
Of course.
Now, and it's got all these rules of the other one. You can't be with the real you.
Yeah.
So you can't time travel or shouldn't time travel at any time that you were alive, because if you bump into you, everything melts down.
You can't alter the timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also it's the butterfly effect. Something happened immediately that when one of the people get back, their life was completely different. Should I do a spoiler here?
Do a spoiler.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what the thing is.
Someone in their life had disappeared.
Oh, shit.
In other words,
never
born.
existed.
So no one even was like, what are you talking about? Everything else was the same, except for this person had disappeared. Now, it sets up that time traveler paradox. Do you now try to go back and fix it to get that person to appear, and what was the thing? Or we know from the Back to the Future that person still exists on a different timeline, right?
Yeah.
So why would it matter if you got them in this timeline? Because there would be an infinite amount of timelines.
Each of them are possible.
Do you have to make them exist in each of them?
Yes.
Why?
No, I mean, no, you don't have to. I'm like, yes, I follow. Like, yes, I need them to exist in all of them. Now, I can only think of this in terms of sliders. Who's the Quinn of the show? Who's the Wade? Who's the Rembrandt? What's the cast look like?
What about the Crying Man? The greatest actor that had a soul song in the 70s that literally didn't even seem like it was a good song.
That was the best.
And then Jerry O'Connell, what was his part?
He was Quinn.
He, in one of the realities, he is co-hosting a show with Kelly Regis, his old partner.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Very weird.
Now, if we came up with a time machine, all right, you're going to get to take one trip. You go into the past or into the future?
I would go into the future because, one, I would not want to modify, and two, the past, unless you're talking like 30 years past, it's a lot of times not so safe to be a woman in travels.
First of all, I don't know if I would even fit in now at any time in the past. Like, I don't know if I could blend in to
like,
even times that I was alive. Like, I don't think I could get along with the adults.
Right.
I don't think they would buy it.
Right.
I think they would just go, why are you talking and acting this way?
Who are you?
Like, you just like right away, like he seems like a person, but there's just something off.
I wouldn't be able to exist in that. Dad's home from work, and now he needs 45 minutes of quiet to read his paper and have one glass of scotch. The time, the dragging of the time.
Not fast paced enough.
Yeah.
But you
gotta talk more.
I like that you would just kind of stick out like the way like Jack Nicholson looks in The Shining in that picture, where you're like, I know he's supposed to be in the 20s or something there, but there's something about Jack Nicholson's face. You're just like, nah, he couldn't exist. I don't know why, but he just couldn't.
Past or future for you, Chris?
I feel like can I try to alter past, or am I just living in the past?
You can go into the past or into the future.
I'm going in the past.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You don't need to make this fucking harder than it is.
And I don't want to be mean, but you don't need to veto this question. The way Vito always has to go. Vito always says,
I know Vito, 69 minutes.
No. Do I get to choose what I wear when I go into the past?
Can I bring a friend there? All right, you're going into the past. How many years backwards?
I go to the day of the Kennedy assassination.
And do what?
I run into the crowd.
You take the bullet?
I don't know if I'll take the bullet, but I'm fucking jumping on top and make sure he doesn't get assassinated.
I got a book for you. It's a Stephen King book. And it's about a guy who goes into the past to save Kennedy. But here's the deal. He can only travel to this one moment in time, and it's like 1958 or something. So he has to stay there for years.
That's a pain in the ass.
And if he fucks anything up, he has to come back
to 58.
Yeah, he comes back here, and then right back to that moment to reboot.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's fucking. They made I was going to say a TV show, but that would be a lie. a computer show about it that was on Amazon or something. And I was just like, I'm screaming at this.
How many attempts would it take for Chris to get it right?
One.
Like, you think you do it on the first attempt?
Yeah, definitely. I have 6
You're
years
like,
to think
two
about
gunmen?
it.
I wasn't expecting this.
You haven't pulled off a show that was flawless yet, of any kind.
But I feel like I could be enough of a crazy mess during this fucking time that they're freaked out and they protect Kennedy more.
Here's the problem.
So your thing is to make threats earlier in the day?
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm going to kill this guy.
I'll
Then
make
you
threats
end up-
early day, and if he fucking still drives around, I'm running at the car.
Now, this is the funny thing about what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you went back to, what did he die in, 1962, 63?
Yeah.
They never saw anyone your size. And I'm not making that up.
I know.
I'm not making that up.
This giant, this beast of a man keeps telling us to protect the president.
You would be the biggest NFL player that there is already. No, you would stand out in a fucking crowd. You would not be able to blend in at all.
That's fine. I don't want to blend in. I want them to see me.
And by the way, this is the other part that was great. So not only do you show up years before, and I got to think of the name of this thing, but you don't even show up in Dallas. You show up in this little town in Maine. So you got to get yourself to Dallas. You got to get a job set up, or
this would be my route. Yeah. I would just try to become really successful and just get on the staff and then gently suggest, I don't think we should go on this trip.
I would, that's a good idea.
No
just,
drop
this is like,
instead of being there with the bullet.
Yeah.
Well, here's one of the things. You could go and kill Oswald, but was it Oswald that even did it?
Yeah, I'm not even touching Oswald. I'm not worried about him.
And then also remember, by saving Kennedy, you might have, released nukes.
Oh, shit.
Because not even Kennedy doing it, but suppose there's no Johnson, and maybe there's a Nixon, but maybe not. And Nixon, maybe it goes to Bobby. You don't know. So you fucked up this whole thing that you only hope works out better.
I'm pretty sure it'll work out better.
We don't know.
I mean, I have to hitchhike to fucking Dallas first.
See, I'm
gonna guess I'm hitchhiking.
In the book, 50s. They drive. In the book, it's a person who could drive.
Oh, shit.
It's a Hulu series, and it's called 11/22/63. Also the name of Big Steve King's book. And like everything else he does, you're like, hey, I think this is kind of cool. And then you're like, oh. All right, here's Sean. Sean, what's up?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I would want to go to Dallas, but I think I'd go back and watch Black Girl try to talk the Jews out of crucifying Jesus.
He said that he would go back and stop the crucifixion. And I'm screaming at him, Earl, God planned the crucifixion.
This is what they wanted to happen.
Which is funny to me, is why everyone's mad at Judas. Because Judas
helped the plan.
Had to keep the plan.
And he was born with that intent already baking inside him the same way. If you're to believe this type of...
It was uploaded in him. There's nothing he could do about it. He had no free speech.
So you're saying Saint him, Saint Judas.
All right, Cam said the only way I can picture Chris time traveling is in a cab with Buster Poindexter. What flaw? Let's go to Gordon. Gordon, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys. So Ron, the name of the book, the Stephen King book, is 11/22/63.
Yes,
it's probably my favorite time travel story of all time, and it was a Hulu miniseries, and it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. James Franco did it. Pretty decent job.
Yeah,
great story.
I mean, again with those things, and this is my problem with Westworld. If the last episode isn't fucking great, then the whole thing sucks. And the last episode was not great.
Oh no. Yeah, well that's what happens with any type of sci-fi, especially like if there is an answer you're waiting for, ultimately you will be disappointed.
That's where we are already with Westworld. You're like, what is the Man in Black up to? What is the real purpose of these things? If it, they drop all these hints that there's more of a purpose than just having a park.
But then I also read the creators are planning on multiple seasons, so we know we're not going to have a total robot freak out, which is what I thought it was going to be a one-done season and get everything explained to us.
A robot freak out.
I'm talking about the robots killing all the guests.
Even if they do, who cares?
Yeah, we don't even know any of the guests.
We don't even know if any of the guests are not robots themselves. Because I'm thinking that the staff was robots.
You think?
I'm thinking that the guys who work on robots are robots, and they don't know it. And that's when he's looking at that kid. The fucking kid doesn't exist. That picture of that kid.
Oh, yeah. That's like a made-up reality. That they give him a backstory.
Yeah.
But all he does is just work on robots.
Yeah, we got that from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was a fucking robot.
It's a fucking skin job, Ron.
He was.
She just named Westworld Skin Job.
But, I mean, here's the thing. Why are they still using robots? Why isn't it virtual reality? Which would be much cheaper and less robot-y.
Because physical interaction with the robots.
When you're
someday it's going to feel like it, though. Virtual reality will feel. You'll be able to feel in the virtual reality world.
How will we do this?
We don't have the technology yet, but it's not that hard to imagine that in the same way that you're using the glasses and the gloves, we'll be able to do that with skin.
Right. So then maybe you would have some sensors on your body, and really you're just like laying in a pod, but you're in the Westworld instead of you're physically walking through robot land.
Right. Just like when you're in a dream, you're thinking that you're feeling stuff,
Right.
I had a dream where I was, and I actually woke up crying because it wasn't true. But I had choked Chris to death last night in my dream. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, God, I worked so hard and now I still have the problem. You ever been thirsty in a dream and you're just trying to drink something and it just doesn't quench you?
This isn't as good as I imagined.
I'm still drinking.
I really don't like when I pee in a dream because then I wake up in a panic. Because I just think like,
bottle.
No, I'm just afraid.
Yeah. Why do you say that to Ted Danson?
I didn't want him to know that I often have dreams where I go number 1 and number 2, and I wake up really scared. Like the number 2 ones are really scary because then it feels real, and then you're like, did I just shit the bed? Those are the worst nightmares.
Or best. But you never do?
No, I've never shit the bed. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be telling you the story.
Safe space.
This would come up, and I would just be like, yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Geez, I don't know. It's a weird thing that you guys have. I don't share in it. All right, Vito, I never got the chance to ask you. Future or past?
I'm going to go to the past. I'm going to go early 80s, and I'm going to try to get involved in the territory scene right before rock and wrestling kicks off.
That's what your fucking dreams and desires are too small.
I'm saving Kennedy, possibly plunging the Earth into a nuclear war.
He's not going to, though.
I'm going to be Hulk Hogan.
What do you think you could
You're
do?
going to come up with this gimmick first? I have this great idea. Actually, this is pretty smart.
I'm a dumb American. Why would you want to go back and just write Thriller a week before? Something you could make some real money and people wouldn't be hurting you.
I want to experience Hulkamania.
What experience? What the fuck, dude?
You really want to do one leg drop in your fucking life?
I think I would change the finisher, though. That would be the one thing I'd change up. I'm going to be dropping on my ass every night.
It's so dumb looking.
That's why he has back problems.
All those guys are hurt. All of them.
Doesn't matter what their finisher is. It's the fucking rest of this shit that fucks them up.
I'd have a really good career, and then I'd be like, look, 96, I'd be like, guys, I got this good idea. I'm going to drop a leg on Macho Man. I'm going to start this whole new thing. I'm going to turn heel.
So your thoughts, at least fucking He's trying to change society.
Thank you, Ron.
As dumb as his idea is.
It's not dumb.
Yours is
And he won't
purely
succeed.
about your wrestling fantasy.
Well, it's me changing my own. I want to keep everything in place so I don't screw up anybody's future. But I'm just.
So the Holocaust continues, so you can be Hulk Hogan.
At what point are you going to sue Gawker for the picture they have of you fucking Bubba's wife?
Dropping N-bombs.
I gotta stay on the timeline, so I'll be doing that in 2013.
And what's Terry Bollea doing while you're stealing his fucking gimmick?
Not my problem.
What did you call him, by the way?
Terry Bollea?
I thought I heard Malaya.
I hope I didn't say that.
I'll tell you, you'll be like, in 84, 85, they're like, well, people are walking out bored of Hulkamania. The opening act tonight. Here comes Hulk Hogan. I figure the future is the only place to go.
Yeah, that's all.
Fuck the past.
I would not go to the past.
But how far would you go into the future?
I would say something that is not in my lifetime. I would go.
You got to pick. You got to do the dial right now.
Oh, shit.
I go like
How many years?
3,000.
That's fucking crazy.
How would you even know if there was a fucking planet
What
here?
if you just show up and it's a wasteland?
Don't cry.
I think it'll still be around. I just want to see what's going on there. You think that's too far?
Way too far.
Hell, I'd be nervous about 50 years.
What do you think? More like 500 years would be better?
Even that's
500
dicey.
years is going to be nuts.
200?
First of all, she's just making deals now.
What can I do?
I would go 50 years. 50 years would be insane. The way technology is flipping.
I will give you this. Technology might be so advanced at that point. I wouldn't be able to fathom it if I go too far. So I'll come back and report and you're like, I don't know what I've seen. I don't know. Everything's so fucked up.
Siri is running everything.
I mean, it's so weird. They're robots, but they're not robots.
They said that, like, if we brought a cowboy from the 1880s to this place, it would be so loud to him and everything would be moving so fast that he would fucking pass out. He would not be able to put up with what's going down.
Like, if you just even think of the buzz of this room, the sound of electricity that we don't
hear it anymore.
We don't hear what that sounds like.
And he would be like a fucking monkey just running around, just, what the fuck?
I mean, my friend's brother visited from Scotland and he was pretty much like that. He was like, it's so loud here. And he was so shocked how loud Americans are in restaurants. Like, he's like, restaurants are so quiet back home. Like, you can hear people like eating, quiet conversation, maybe light music. But that sound that you know of a busy restaurant of just like dishes clanking and people talking and laughing really loud and music, but he was just so overwhelmed by it.
You're just hearing just people chewing and everyone's all fucking Scotland. Fucking hate it here.
So sad.
Man, what are you gonna do? I came, a relative visited here and got out of the train and came up and went through Times Square and felt like they were gonna fucking pass out.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, it was too overwhelming for them. And so I ran into them on the street, your cousin, and he was like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I'm like, chill, dude. It's not all Times Square here. You know what I mean? You're out of it now.
It's done.
And then I was hanging with Earl at the time, and he's like, wait, blacks and whites are interacting. Look, wait, I just got a text from Earl yesterday, and I haven't talked to him in a while. And he just wrote to me, this is so stupid. I gotta have more cowbell, he writes.
What?
And then he sends me a thing of a Christopher Walken head in Astoria.
What? Like what is that, like a statue or something?
Yeah, it's just like someone made a head, Christopher, which looks nothing like him.
Like
I wouldn't even
snake.
have guessed unless he wrote the stupid cowbell thing.
Well, that's nice. He thought of you.
Ryan Beck, right? Chris, lay low. He'd get hammered and heckle the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Would you keep with your sobriety when you travel
If
to
I'm
the
time
past?
traveling, fuck no. It's fucking on. Drinking all that fucking 60s booze.
What is the 60s booze? What
I
does
guess
that
the same
mean?
booze as now.
Yes.
What do you mean you guess?
Yes, there's no difference between Jack Daniels now and then.
That's actually a point of pride for them.
Bartender, give me some of that 60s booze you have back.
What did you say?
Keep hearing about the 60s booze.
Don't mind him. He's just drunk. But that's the fucking thing. Like, why do these people want to go to a cowboy place out of everything that there is? What is it about Westworld that people want to just go to cowboy time? It doesn't seem all that cool to me.
Cowboy time, I think, would be a good one to visit. I mean, what time would you like? Middle Ages? That would be
No.
terrible.
Can't even fucking stand in a
Yeah,
Renaissance
because it's
show.
like you don't have like nice amenities there in Westworld. You saw where they're fucking hanging out, banging the hookers or whatever.
This is his Yelp.
This is not enough amenities.
What amenities do you want? Mr. Full Service fucking pool bar asshole.
And he's the one excited for 60s booze.
I'm there on a mission. I'm not there for fucking leisure.
You
Why
imagine if
is he yelling at me?
Scottish person heard. Scottish person like, I can't be here with this fucker.
I'm wearing headphones. It's like he's screaming inside my head.
Somebody told me that fucking Sam was going to come in here at 3:30 and start shooting some paintballs.
What?
Yeah, they just won't drop this shit. And he says, Sam says he's going to light his farts. I don't see how that gets even. Stupid. I miss Ted Danson.
Me too.
Yeah, he's the best.
It's really cool.
So we haven't broken yet today. We should probably break.
Right back, Bennington. The Bennington Show. Nick DiPaolo coming in about a half hour. That is if he chooses us. He has to either choose us, Opie, or Sam and Jim. It's up to him.
3 pretty maids all in a row.
Yeah. Which one of us is going to get the rose? Because if he does one show, he is forbidden to do any other show.
I'm just excited we got that dancing.
Yeah. Ted Danson forever. He's probably going to do Tuesdays with us.
By signing this contract, you
Yeah.
just said we're the only show you'll ever do.
You know who I'm trying to get for us every Tuesday? Maury.
Oh,
Well, that's his day.
Maury's Wigs. It is the Bennington Show. Nick DiPaolo stopping by, who I don't want to say is our favorite comedian because it hurts other comedians, but he is. He makes us laugh the hardest. Now, I don't want to put that pressure on him, though.
I know. We can laugh or not laugh, whatever. I mean, we're just friends. You know what I mean?
I've never had a friend in my life before, but I'd like to make one.
I know.
Chris, you ever have like a real friend?
I feel like maybe I've had at some point.
Who?
My buddy
Dave?
Chris.
You like Chris better than Dave? What if they were both drowning? Who would you
Oh,
save?
Jesus.
Play it now.
Guess I'm going to save Chris. I love
That's so
Dave. I love
fucking
Dave.
mean.
I love
Why
Dave.
would you say that after you just let him drown in the fucking...
Why
And
did you...
by the way, he's drowning in his own blood.
Oh my
I
God,
didn't know that.
Chris.
But still Chris, though.
Dave has children.
I know.
Always save someone with children first.
They're the most important people there is.
I believe the children are our future.
Really?
Wait, no, I think old people are our future. I really do. The elderly. That's our future. The WAARPs. Wait, there's no W in it. Why did I say that? Nick at Night.
Nick.
He is the number one intern.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah.
We really like Nick and are comfortable with him.
Oh, yeah.
We're very comfortable with Nick.
Yeah, he's not a weirdo.
Well, the problem with Nick is he doesn't have enough Seinfeld trivia fun facts for me.
Why do you say that?
No,
Marcus Hook, our other intern, loves Seinfeld.
You're too deep for everybody right now.
I mean, like, that's
You've went
kind
too
of
deep
inside
with this.
baseball.
Yeah.
And if we don't even get it,
Speaking of inside baseball, the Mets are already losing.
Good.
It's not true. It's not till tomorrow.
I thought you said you were putting money on them or something.
I was looking at lines.
This is the greatest fucking night. What did he say of our whole fucked up lives?
This is the best. This is the best night of our whole fucked up lives.
32 fucked up years.
32 fucked up years.
God, you were fun back then.
God, I miss that guy.
Yeah, that guy was the best.
This guy's so weird.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking real tight ass. He is. This guy's a fucking like a knot.
Like you can't talk to him.
No.
I mean, that guy was fun.
Yeah, he was loose.
You know what I mean? Like he's always ready for a good time.
Good times.
I'm like the work he did back then was just really sharp.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see I guess it's not even a video. It's a GIF.
GIF. It's a GIF.
Can't remember which one I called it.
It's GIF.
But of Cowboys owner Jimmy Jones taking the helmet to the face.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so fucking great.
It's so like
an old man gets hit in the face with a helmet.
Like, you know how that sounds, right? It's even better visually.
The only way that this could be better is if you replace the helmet with a bullet.
Oh, God.
That would be really funny.
And then you could just watch it on a loop.
What is it about this Jerry Jones that's such a terrible person?
It's because he, like, looks like a lech, is a lech, and he owns the Cowboys. I think that's the most fucking fucked up.
Why would someone throw a helmet at him?
Good.
I guess he thought he could catch it.
But why? Like, did they want him to sign it and then?
What? He was supposed to chuck it back up to them?
But like, you could just see like his old man reflexes are non-existent.
Oh God! Like he starts to move in the direction of somebody who would want to catch something, but he doesn't even get halfway there. Like he's just
he gets his face there, but not his arms up. And
you got to stay in front of it.
Notice almost immediately he loses the human form.
He just becomes like a question mark. Yeah. I've been hurt.
Yeah, you know his old man face is going to hurt for weeks over that.
The skin is so sensitive.
But the fact that it happened from a fan.
It looks like a child's helmet, too. It doesn't even look like a full, like...
You're a racist.
Well, how's that racist? I'm just a children.
It seems like it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you love autumn, Whitey.
I don't know what a gourd is, but I do love autumn.
I sort of
I swear to God, when you were saying gourd, I had no idea. And first of all, I don't know how you go gourd shopping. Do you eat them or you just lay them around the house?
I really can't because he knows what a fucking gourd is. And he actually goes like this. I mean, what is that, edible? Because it kind of looks like a plant. It doesn't kind of look like a plant. It is. It is an organic.
Great.
Organic material.
So is it just decorative or is it food?
It can be,
okay.
yeah. A lot of people enjoy decorating their homes with gourds in the month of October through November, preferably.
Hey, Kim Kardashian's former security guard said this sounds like an inside job.
Yeah.
And people are acting like there's no way to get rid of this $4 million diamond. But that's the thing. If you studied the Pink Panther gang, which robs people in Europe, they have a way of going in. They got guys that just cut those things into a bunch. And are they going to get $4 million for it? No. So what? Yeah. They get $2.5 million.
Oh no, boo-hoo. They have fences, all right? They pop it out of the ring itself.
What?
You don't have a fence that you can resell a $4 million ring. There's only so many of them on the planet.
Yeah.
So you got to destroy the diamond so it's not traceable.
Look,
because that thing, it's not like you stealing an old lady's fucking diamond and going down the street to your local fucking fence.
Now
he hands it in with her finger still on it. Her old fucking finger. He cut it off with a hacksaw.
Now,
or wire cutters.
It's a lot easier to understand how somebody could do a diamond heist and resell. I mean, I think that's very easy to figure that out. But I always wonder, how does a fucking art thief figure it out? Like
they sell it to an old rich guy who just puts it in one room and looks at it.
Private collectors.
Who loves art enough to spend this kind of money, but is devoid of morals enough
Yeah.
to have it
Exactly.
stolen. I mean, that seems like a very
It-
specific market.
It's almost a non-existent market, if you're going to be honest. You don't see art thieves the way you do in movies.
Yeah, like how many people would even be consumers
Like I'm
of
saying,
art
$1.5
theft?
million tops.
Million and a half.
I meant 7 million. Like when you said 3,000 years.
yeah.
Oh, 150 years then? We really were backpedaling fast. They're also saying that the concierge was taken prisoner
Yeah.
with Kim
Really?
Kardashian. Yeah. Can't you hear by Chris's constant yes
Mhm.
back at me as I'm saying these facts that he could have brought up at any time? And that she was begging for her life. She thought for sure she was going to be killed.
I feel very terrible to hear
Terrible.
that about Kim,
Terrible.
who again
Just-
is just a human woman, and everyone should just feel
I want
bad.
to see if anyone in the family is Snapchatting. And there's a lot of people who think this is just for the show. And you're like, no, they're not going to do that. just
The
for
old
show.
old guard. He was like, this is either an inside job or a publicity stunt. He was sure of it.
He's a dick, though.
He did get fired for apparently Kanye fired him for becoming too close with Kim.
To be
Put a
honest with
vagina?
you,
Yeah.
that sounds like suspect number one.
You think?
I don't think he can pull it off. He's half an idiot. No one in that family has done a single Snapchat since this has happened. And this family does, between all of them, 50 to 60 Snapchats a day.
Radio silent on the Snapchat completely. That's rare for them. They
Yes.
love social media. It's how they make their money.
When she came into New York yesterday, she came in with like a barricade of like 20 SUVs.
Was it a barricade?
I don't
You know what a barricade is?
That's a convoy, Vito. That's not a fucking barricade.
You hear that, yo? We got a barricade going. We got a little barricade.
I mean, he drove up in this big old barricade.
I think today is National Truckers Day. So, happy Truckers Day,
Oh.
truckers.
Keep
Big
on
ups.
trucking.
Trucking. I'm looking at the Sirius XM Snapchat, showing some Dap Kings down there in Austin.
Nice.
Man, they put a lot out yesterday. Sirius XM Snapchat is on top of things. Oh, there's a little virtual reality too that they got going on down there. What's a big story for you today, Chris? What do you care about?
Did you see Ben Affleck getting sad about the Patriots? Because
Oh yeah, put up that video for Gail. So I think there's audio with it, right?
yes,
So we'll just let the audio tell the story.
or here he is during a junket.
Hi there.
I'm Tiffany Ashinsky, Sports Illustrated.
Nice to meet you.
Cameras, roll, please.
You have the scores of the football games on that thing by any
I
chance?
do, and I don't know if you want me to tell you what it is.
Uh-oh.
Do you?
Well, yes, I do want you to tell me.
Buffalo's winning 16-0.
Buffalo's winning 16-0?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm sorry.
In the third quarter?
Fourth.
In the fourth?
Yeah. Okay.
Rex Ryan?
This is what's funny. He's got to ask Rex Ryan. Yes, Rex Ryan is the coach.
And then, like you could see where he's like, doesn't sound good, but at least we're in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, his face.
This is, I know, his face is his pain.
It's so great.
But here's what's fucking funny. So Rex Ryan or the Bills retweeted that today, and then they wrote, "How do you like them apples?"
Oh, come
I
on.
just hate them.
Those apples, you mean, or the Bills?
The Bills and Rex Ryan and his fucking brother.
For bragging that they won when there was no quarterback.
I don't know what the hell to make of the Bills. Apparently, the offensive coordinator was the problem with the whole fucking organization.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you can use that quote against him. I understand that he wrote the movie, but he wasn't the one who said it.
First of all, how do you like them apples has been around for 1,000,000 years. That's no,
Right.
that is no movie quote. That never should have, come on. That's like your quote being, what time is it?
By the way, I also want to say this, that the setup for that line in the movie, the fact that the guy plays along with it, I don't think would have happened. He's like, do you like apples?
How you go like this? Hey, fuck you and your apples, okay?
And then, yeah, that guy's just going to be like, fuck off. He's not going to answer you. He's not going to set you up.
He's not going to say, yes, I do like apples.
Matter of fact, I love them. It's fall, isn't it? I'm white, aren't I?
So juicy and delicious. I like to pick them from the orchid myself.
Just shut up. I'm trying to get a line out.
Still, I do like apples. You not tell me you have some, do you?
Honeycrisp is perhaps my favorite apple.
No, that's a fucking ridiculous line.
It's so silly.
There's something else I doubt very much takes place in real life that happens in movies all the time. And that's when someone is pouring their drink on someone's head and that person just stands there and doesn't slap and try to move.
They just let it drip off their mouth and while they look defeated. And I know this because I had a drink poured on me once.
Really?
I had a girl poured a drink on me at a party, but it was not as dramatic and fun as that setup is. She tried to do it sneaky, so she walked behind me and poured the drink down my back. And I jumped, of course. I did not say, oh boy. Deserved, I suppose. I am dating your ex.
Did she go like this? How do you like this apple teeny?
Well, it was college, so we didn't have many shakers or the setup for apple teenies.
Too bad.
However, we were white. Apples, you say? Delightful.
Yeah, that is funny that they will allow themselves to get flooded with a drink.
Yeah.
In a movie. Nowhere else.
Just blinking as it's being poured on them.
Someone wrote into that Vito would never have been a Hulk Hogan. He would be the son of Gorilla Monsoon.
That could be a good gimmick for you.
Yeah, but if I'm creating the gimmick, I can be whoever I want.
Yes, we know. Stop acting like we're 8 playing in your fucking bedroom.
It's not real, dude. You're not time traveling. You're not stealing Hulk Hogan's gimmick.
And you're not saving JFK.
Oh, that is happening.
Even if you went back, we figured out you couldn't save JFK.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't throw we into this. We're not going to be mean.
Yeah, thank you, Ron.
Ladies, relax. Am I right?
That's good.
Can't fight.
Wow.
I'm sexist.
Sexist cat fight is taking place. Speaking of cat fight, did you see this is up on the iBank today too, the fucking fight, and I guess it's in Chuck E. Cheese, and the parents are just throwing haymakers, the moms in particular. Chuck E. Cheese to me is the worst fucking place that's ever existed.
Is it the stench?
You mean pizza farts?
But like processed through a child. So it's child pizza farts.
Does that tight fucking fart because their little assholes are so small? It's just fucking hard for them to seep one out. But look at this fight at Chuck E. Cheese, and it's just...
Holy shit.
Oh my god. Oh, how many people are in this?
It's everybody.
Oh, there's at least a dozen people.
Everyone's
fighting hard.
Yeah.
I have the feeling, I mean, they don't say, but it must be two parties, right? Like, we were supposed to get Chucky.
Right.
Well, look, I mean, just, let's just play a game and you got to hit the buzzer, okay?
Okay.
All right. Without me telling you, which state did this take place in?
The great state of Florida.
Always. It's always the great state of Florida. Just a mess.
The Chuck E. Cheese is well lit. I've never been inside one.
What? It's for children. It's not a club.
Like, still, it's too well lit.
It's not a bar. It's for children.
What do you want? Romantic stuff for 4-year-olds?
I imagine the Chuck E. Cheese to be not, like, a little bit lower lit.
Like, you're thinking like a bar is
What
lit.
are you
Because it's like a
that?
party for kids, so let make them seem like they feel like adults.
It's an amusement. It's like a small little amusement park.
I've never been.
Not a fucking disco. I have that feeling you're in there all the time hanging around the little boys' room.
Just a bunch of 6-year-olds bellied up at the bar. Love Chucky's. So great.
It's crazy though, right?
Look at those Florida men and women go.
It's mostly women, though. Couple
Yeah.
dudes are in there.
And they're fighting hard. It doesn't look like the kind of fight where it's like one person shoves someone and then it gets awkward. Like people are throwing hands like
look,
hard.
Those women look like they fight every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are like, if fucking John Wayne was a woman, he would be in the middle of that fucking mix. Look at those crazy bastards.
They're sick.
And not as well lit as Chris would like it to be. He would like it to be much more romantic.
A little dimmer.
It's just not sexy enough for me. I like to get in the mood when I'm
He goes like this. Who wants to go in the ball pit? And then he drops his nuts out.
No.
Yes, you do, Chris. That's why you don't want it so well lit.
When I was a kid, I really hated when kids would refer to Chuck E. Cheese himself as Chuck E. Cheese's. They're like, oh, look, there's Chuck E. Cheese's. It's like, no. He has ownership over the place. It's not plural cheeses. He's just one cheese himself.
Absolutely. You should have started a big brouhaha and just started
fucking windmilling.
You want to go to Fist City over this bitch?
Ooh.
He didn't know that I had put him up. Go ahead there, Eric. You're on the air, buddy.
Hello, Gail Bennington, Bob.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
What's up?
I heard you mention that it was National Trucker Day today or yesterday.
I think it's today.
Yeah, did you hear of the Stones, the Rolling Stones? They played a free gig, I think, for a truckers convention, like a 90-minute set, just for all these truckers out in Vegas.
On a truck bed. You have to have the stage as the truck bed, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the guys would have to work to bring all the stuff in, too. It's like, it's never really
they
a
work.
day.
They work and they're like, okay, guys, let's do a little performance for the crew.
This
Hello?
goes out to all the truckers out there.
Oh, truckers, Keith, let's do trucker blues and tea, Keith. Let's do it. Trucker blues and tea.
When you load me up, you can load me up in me truck. I was reading all about the Stones in that Altamont fucking book. They were hilarious. They were out of their goddamn minds.
Really?
500,000 people, no cops. Because they'd gotten busted a couple years before.
God.
So they didn't want any cops there.
Makes sense.
Just fucking Hell's Angels with half pull sticks. Perhaps the worst weapon of all time when you're trying to be a peacekeeper.
Crowd control.
Eric, good to talk to you, buddy.
Good talking to you too, Bobbit. Later, Bennington, Bobbit.
Peace. Greg, what's up?
Ronnie, $1,000,000.
Hey, man, thanks.
Hey. Chuck E. Cheese, St. Cloud, Minnesota, back in the 80s, used to have great pizza. And Chris Stanley used to be very low lit.
Cool.
With the creepy animatronic. I don't know. There was a mice. There was a purple goon. There was.
Look, stop all the crazy talk, Greg, and let me just bring this up to you. Your Vikings are 4-0. The Minnesota
I was at
Vikings.
the game last night, brother.
Embarrassed.
I was at the game last night.
Fucking just the freak season anyone's having. They lost their two best players, and they're crushing it.
Doesn't make. I mean, and now Sam Bradford's their quarterback, and they just embarrassed.
He's the nation's quarterback now.
They love him.
I told this before to you. I go, the Sam Bradford fucking trade is the first time in history that everybody was happy. The Eagles were happy. Vikings were happy. Bradford's happy. And the next great Pro Bowl quarterback of all time, Hall of Fame bound, Pennsylvania, is fucking ecstatic. Everybody's happy.
It works out for everyone.
Never works out that way. Bradford, this goes to show you how crazy the league is. Everyone must use the same plays. He looks like he's been there for 10 years. He's been there for 5 minutes. He knows every play.
He started like 6 days later, or some ridiculous amount of time.
Well, you always have, like, you say something, you feel good about yourself, and then you panic.
I didn't have the exact days. I couldn't have.
Someone was going to fucking call
Five.
and just show up.
But you're not covering yourself by doing that dumb thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you just look like you lack confidence.
Brad,
holy shit! It happened, Chris.
Oh my God. That's Brad Steiner. Brad stinks. Made
Retweet
that.
Brad stinks.
I'm doing it right now. That shit is so funny.
Do we got a break before Nick?
Yeah, we should break before Nick.
Nick DiPaolo's stopping in. He's performing at the Ridgewood Playhouse in Ridgewood, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. And then he's taping his special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. SuffolkTheater.com for tickets. And his badass podcast, the Nick DiPaolo podcast, available now on iTunes. Go to connectpal.com/Nick. We'll be back in just a moment. Bennington.
It's like a 140-character live journal. It's hashtag Bennington. Tweet it.
Welcome back to Bennington.
Oh, thank you.
Nick DiPaolo's in the studio. Nick's performing at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. Go to nickdip.com for tickets. And Nick's taping his special Saturday, October 28th, at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to SuffolkTheater.com for tickets. And the Nick DiPaolo podcast is available now on iTunes. Go to connectpal.com/Nick to subscribe.
Nice seeing you guys. Take care.
There he goes. He's gone. This is quick.
That's all he
That was
wanted from
perfect.
us.
He's got 90 other shows to do today.
No, I just wanted to get that plug in on a good show.
The Ridgefield Playhouse is a beautiful,
Awesome.
beautiful place.
It is my favorite. I wanted to shoot the special there, actually.
Is that right?
But they're having an opera.
Oh.
They have an opera that day from like noon to 6. I didn't know that Connecticut was the cultural capital.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous place. But there's a lot of theaters like that within, a little while.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Pavarotti's going to be in Bridgeport that same day.
There's a beautiful theater in Bridgeport. People don't realize.
Is that true?
Yes.
I was just kidding.
No, there's a gorgeous theater up in Bridgeport that looks like it was built 1930, something like that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It looks like it was built in the 30s, yet it has 100 metal detectors.
I went to a show there and everything was great until it was over. And we're like, what time is it? We've got to walk outside now.
Where's the train station?
Nick, this is an important day for you because you have to make a choice today.
Uh-oh. What?
You are either going to be loyal to the Opie show or the new Jim Norton show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why is today? I don't follow this stuff. I just pop in when I want to plug shit.
Yeah. Why don't you plug real quick, Chris, before I get into this story?
Nick's taping a special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater.
No, that wasn't a hint. I was just...
in Riverhead, New York. Go to SuffolkTheater.com for tickets. The Nick DiPaolo podcast is available on iTunes. Go to connectpal.com/Nick to subscribe. And Nick's performing this Saturday, October 8th at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Go to nickdip.com for all dates and tickets.
Now, Jimmy announced this. I don't know whether it's true or not, but he said that they found out the comics have to pick one show or the other. A very difficult decision.
You said, wait a minute, you said they found, who found out that?
Well,
is that Jimmy?
Jimmy and Sam, and it may have just been a rumor.
Yeah.
Because Opie had tweeted later, what the fuck are you talking about or whatever. I don't know. I don't have Twitter. I hear it's great though. I still have a black and white set.
I have 11 followers. 4 of my family and 3 Puerto Ricans who hate me from Bridgeport. But
11 followers is actually the same thing Tom Brady has. Everybody here? All my followers? Right, let's have this play. Now, but I don't know whether it's a choice or not, but that would be, I think, now that the idea came up, I think people at home would love to see who picked who. Like, they need to play this out for a while. I like to know, you want to live with mommy or daddy?
God, I mean, and I'm not just saying this. I like both those guys, and they were, Jimmy. I'm closer to Jimmy because we're comics who are on Tough Crowd together. You know what I mean? So I'm closer to him. Right. Out of loyalty, I'd probably have to, but Opie was always great to me, and boy, do I sound like Trump.
You got 5 seconds. You've got 5 seconds. But it is always great when Trump decides he's going to be presidential instead of himself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Somebody said, and again, I'm voting for him. I don't give a shit what anybody compared to the thick ankle dog face with the leathery nipples. Fuck her. But Now you know how if you like that, go to my podcast. There's a lot of that lately. But
I just heard Anthony Cumia go too far. He just went too far with it that time.
I know. I don't love Trump. I'm holding my nose too. But please, I have a whole theory about liberalism that we're not going to get into. But
anything you want to do at any time.
I don't want a woman with feet like a Clydesdale running the country. And a neck like mine.
I say this country's ready for a thick-legged woman. November 6th, everyone.
8th, ain't it? Is it 6th?
Yeah. Isn't it the 6th this year?
6th.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Jesus, I would have showed up 2 days late. Banging on the door of my firehouse in Austin. What the fuck?
Is it too late?
That's one thing I do love about living up there. I literally can walk to the polling place. It's
really
a mile from my house, and there's always 2 people there. And I come in the West, a lot of libs up there, and they come in. How you vote? I go Republican. Got a flag painted on my forehead just to make them miserable. Then I see them giving me the finger. I look through the curtain when I'm in there. I look out and they're giving me the finger behind my back.
I always like how there's 7 really old people who are like, here's your ballot. You got that. There's another piece of... They're so excited with the day.
And they usually seem more confused than you are.
Right.
Like they're making it way more difficult.
Yeah. I'm like, can anybody show me how to... What? Bill's in the toilet. He'll be on in a few minutes to help you.
And then you walk in and it's never clear. Whatever setup, and I've seen several different setups. Mm-hmm. It's always confusing.
The last time I went in there, I signed 2 papers. They shipped me off to Korea. I'm like, I'm not voting again. That's it for me.
I look at the thing and do I go vertically? I have a little bit of problem like that. Or do I vote down? I think I probably voted accidentally Democrat 8 times since I moved up there.
Do you think there's a chance in hell Trump wins this?
I think there's a huge chance.
I think
the polls are so far. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be like the Brexit thing. Remember the night before Brexit?
Yeah, nobody believed.
Nobody believed. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
How can he have rallies where he's got 10,000 people? There's another 2,000 trying to get in. Yeah. And you cut to Hillary, she's got 400 people in a middle school cafeteria. You're going to tell me that's not a barometer for excitement? You got to be shitting me.
Oh, no. He's definitely got the excitement. There's no doubt about it. But I think...
She has the media.
You know, I was just... telling my new best friend today, Ted Danson, that this is only about Trump. It isn't about Hillary at all. It's about either the people who want Trump or don't want Trump.
Right.
And I think the one thing they don't understand is that there's a lot of people who just want to put a knee in the government's balls right now. Like, we now know how black people cheered when OJ got off. It's not so much that they thought he was innocent, but they're just like, fuck you people. You know what I mean? Now you get it. Yeah. You know what? The white people get away with a lot of shit. One black guy got away with something, and we're fucking going nuts over here. And we all just stared at him. That was the best day ever. Yeah. Just to look over and go, really? You're happy? They're like, fuck yeah. They're just running through the streets. It was fucking hilarious.
And none of them said, we feel great because we think he's innocent. They're like, who gives a shit? Like, they knew, like, they were like pretty sure he was guilty.
Here's the thing, though. It really didn't bother me once I got over the shock of him getting away with it. Then I just went, okay, what else is on TV? You know what I mean? Like, my life didn't change at all.
Mine did. I couldn't go into Brentwood to see my girlfriend because her throat was sliced by a fucking running back. But other than that, it didn't change that much.
What a great running back. People forget that.
I had his poster in my bedroom. I had to take it down last night. No, it was... He was
unbelievable.
Nobody knows that more than me growing up a Patriots fan. He used to have 300-yard days against the Patriots. Every time they show a clip of OJ in his heyday, it's against the Patriots. They used to tackle like a girls' blind school.
No one has even run like OJ used to run like he was surfing. He looked so
smooth.
He was just moving, and like he never looked like incredibly fast or hit a hole fast. He'd just glide around, and everyone was like, "We love OJ, we love OJ," and now he was the Bill Cosby of his day, where now people can't imagine how much we used to love Bill Cosby.
I never liked him.
Never cared for the man.
Never cared for the man. I worked at Chris Rock writing on his HBO show, and the whole show was going to go see Cosby. I wouldn't go. Chris was like, DePaulo, you know what the fuck you're missing. You dummy. Apparently my instincts are right on. I always thought he was a pompous douche.
He came in here one day and he did. I brought this up. He fucking treated me like I was Theo. This is like he was asking me why can't he have bottles of water and shit like that.
Bill Cosby?
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
And I was like this. I don't get the water bill. You know what I mean? That's not my fucking thing. You know, why can't these men, like he brought in 4 positive rappers with him instead of being by himself.
Dad Behind the Glass.
Dad Behind the Glass was the big song that he was going to teach black people about. And what he should have fucking did is have a Coke and this pill, and I'll be back here in 45 minutes to molest you.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's guilty. I met him once because I did go to a show with my uncle who loved him, and I shook his hand in the green room after the show. And the next thing I woke up, I was on his bedroom floor at the hotel. I got pudding popper wrappers stuck all over my ass, and I just remember, I can't do a good Cosby.
No, that was
all my
nothing.
black comedian friends do a great Cosby.
Yeah.
They have him raping everybody. They have a new hour material. I can't do Cosby. If Popeye rapes somebody, I'll have a new half hour. Suck me dick, Oliver. It's consensual.
Wow. People forget we used to love Popeye before that happened. Everybody
See,
was
I grew
crazy.
up in a world where he was always the villain, so I didn't.
Popeye?
I was kidding.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're
probably right, though.
Yeah. But I don't even know if little kids know who Popeye is anymore.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think his programs run still. Like, I don't think he gets
there's something
reruns.
called the internet. I think they can look that up. Then look up my sets on Comedy Central in 1866. But
why aren't you plugging, Chris?
Nick's performing at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. Go to
I
nickdip.com
love
for
that
tickets. Nick's taping a special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to suffolktheater.com for tickets. And the Nick DiPaolo podcast, you can subscribe to it at connectpal.com/Nick.
yeah, they get a free one on Monday on iTunes, and if they like it, and I'm having a blast. I got to do it when I leave here. I go home and
you just riff.
No, I don't. I actually treat it like a radio show. Like I got up this morning and read articles and shit for a couple hours.
Right.
And then I throw all that aside and turn the mic. No, I do. I did. I prepared all my shit. All the easy part's doing the show. But I treat it like I try to treat it like a radio show.
Are you, as you get closer to your special, do you get nerves about it, or you just like,
not anymore, because apparently nobody gives a fuck what I have to say. My parents like, that was a good one. No, I don't. I really don't. And this month has been great. I'm working I just got back from St. Louis doing 5 shows, and I already started trying to get the material.
Right.
I heard you had, what's his name on, Barry Crimmins, and he uses a phrase that I use, try to get it into a pile. He said, rake it into a pile for a special. That's the process I'm in right now. But after like 4 nights of raking it into some order, I'm bored stiff with it.
Yeah.
And it has a backfiring effect. I'm up there winging it.
Well, I saw you at the Fat Black Pussycat, and
yes,
it was.
You did.
It was insanely funny. I mean, crazy fallout funny the whole show.
I don't want to kiss your ass, but she's like, she got the wisdom of a 50-year-old.
She really, she has the wisdom I should have got. And,
no.
It's a Freaky Friday. Right. It's a Freaky Friday. But that room is, like, she called me that night. She said, you killed them, we're acting like you didn't. Which I was cracking up for 10 minutes.
Well, I have that reputation.
You were just pretending that you weren't doing
Colin Quinn said this to me, and I know all the comics who watch me at the Cellar over the years would go, when I'd come off, Colin go, don't become that guy that can't hear the fucking laughs, because I'm scolding the audience, and they're like, they were fucking laughing. I don't even hear the laughs anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, but that's fun too. Right. They like it. People like it, but I don't hear them.
Wasn't it, there was a movie about Freddie Prinze, and it might have been called I Can't Hear the Laughter or something. I know there was a thing where he was crying to Jimmy J.J. Walker, I can't hear the laughter anymore.
Was he a comic
in
a movie?
Yeah.
Good choice. Freddie Prinze.
And it was this was
the real Freddie Prinze, not Junior.
No.
Senior.
No, this was the Freddie Prinze story.
Oh,
right? Remember, because he was
yes.
the comic who killed himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, for people who haven't seen because he died, it's just Louis J. Gomez. I mean, pick out any Puerto Rican. It was the same stuff where they try to explain what it's like to be a Puerto Rican.
Can you hear the laughter?
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe that should be the name of my special. You know what I'm calling it? Compassion fatigue. That's what I have.
Yeah.
Google that. It is so perfect for me. I have that night, did I say that on stage? You remember?
I don't think you said that exactly on stage.
Oh, but people will get that. I just have no. I go, a Syrian refugee, a 10-year-old girl go wash in here tonight, I'm sure, with no arms. I put her in the dumpster and sleep like a baby. I have no more feelings for any. I can't watch the Red Sox without cancer being mentioned every fucking inning. And seriously, it's bleeding into. We used to go to sporting events to get away from. It was an escape. Now it's all bleeding together. And when I say this stuff on stage, of course, the whole Facebook generation looking at me. They're looking down at their phone. They're fucking. It's a picture of him and his mother running a 10K race for breast cancer. I understand. We're trying to make awareness. I understand all that, but can you leave that over there and I can have my sport? Can I watch a game without hearing about osteosarcoma for 3 innings?
It is. This is the pink month for the NFL too. It's pink.
Yeah.
Pink.
I have a whole bit on that. And the pink's not the only thing. And then every other commercial's Viagra telling me I can't get it up.
Yeah.
The next commercial's telling me not to sexually abuse women. Which one is it? I'm getting fucking mixed signals. And they got Ice-T, former pimp, telling me how to treat women. Right in the middle of the game, he pops up. He goes, "Don't beat your bitches." Back to the game. So I can sell pussy. I just can't hit it. Thanks, Ice. Let me write that down.
Oh, you're just calling him Ice now.
Yeah.
You're very close.
That's so weird you say that. Because the first time I did the Tonight Show, he was the other guest.
Yeah.
And all my friends were busting my balls after. Because when I came on after I did my mediocre set, I walk over and I go, "Hey, Ice." My friends are like, "What, did you grow up in the fucking hood with this guy?" What am I supposed to say? Mr. Ice Cube, how are you? Ice Pop? What is it?
Well, which one was it, Ice-T or Ice Cube?
It was Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
So he's got a Geico commercial now, too. He's doing well.
Yes, he's scolding a white woman in the suburbs. It's perfect for America. Lemonade, lemonade. Hey, don't get all mouthy. You're not even in the right neighborhood. Getting all fucking mouthy with that attitude. This ain't fucking whatever. Pick a town in California. Fresno. Just pick a town where you've seen a Trump voter being beat up by 8 angry gang members. Am I right? Yes. Lemonade, lemonade. Hey, shut the fuck up. Commercial irritates me.
I didn't know it gets you that bad. I did not know you were so edgy about it.
Oh, that's it. Believe me. I can't watch the white emasculation anymore. Commercial nationwide. They have a little girl. She's like a white girl. She's 8 years old, but she's got a black guy's voice coming out of her mouth. How creepy is that? What the fuck? You liberals are sick motherfuckers. Scolding a white man, her father, but a black voice coming out of a 10-year-old white girl. How creepy is this? Who thinks this shit up, Ron?
First of all, I didn't pay that much attention to it.
You will now.
Yeah. I would always try to fast forward, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I always wanted to do a one-man show. I brought this up, honest to God, on my first CD. You can look it up. It was a Diet Coke commercial. They have women whistling at a guy's ass. I'm like, that's supposed to bother us? That was my first observation of emasculation being the main theme of it. And now it's gone to a place, everybody's point. I brought it up on, I think, his Opie and Norton show years ago.
Yeah.
And people, now on my Twitter, here's another one, here's another commercial, here's another. But they're getting worse. I just
saw Kevin James has another hit show, and he's still not allowed to have a sandwich. They still can't make himself a sandwich without his wife getting mad.
Wait a minute.
She doesn't want him to enjoy himself.
Can't have
Ever.
a sandwich.
This is the
that
second
bit doesn't
show.
get old, though.
No.
No, King of Queens, I'll tell you, it's so funny. My sister Donna, we were having Thanksgiving years ago, and she goes, "Oh, that's a funny show." And I seen about 3 minutes of it. Of course, I had to be the expert. I go, "Fuck that. It fucking stinks." I hadn't even seen 3 minutes of it. It started a big fight at the table. And then, honest to God, 5 years later, I started watching the reruns, and I'm belly laughing because he's so goddamn good. But it really is the ultimate in husband emasculation.
Yeah.
But he's so good at it, and it's so well written that I still watch him.
But really, don't you think that type of humor is just as bad for women as it is for men? Like, it just makes everyone look terrible. Well, like, women are controlling cunts who don't want you to have fun, and they don't want you to watch the game.
No, that's about right. True. No, you guys haven't changed in 100 years.
And then men are just emasculated, and they look weak with it.
I think if they would do a show where Kevin James just turned around and goes, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
He just fucking
moves real quick, just leaps on her ass.
I've had enough of this shit.
I think I told you this. I've told every radio show. I had a deal with Dennis Leary's company years ago, 20-something years ago, and went out to L.A. We met with all the major networks. Then I probably told you this. So. And the first question, first of all, every meeting was like 6 people, and there was, and this is no kidding, 2 guys total. I met with ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, 2 guys total. So that's 4 meetings times 6, 24 people. And every question in the meeting was, what's your wife's role in this show? That was the first question. I'm not shitting you, Ron.
Yeah.
Finally, the last meeting, NBC, they asked me that. Dennis is sitting next to me, Jim Serpico, his partner. I go, well, in the pilot, I think my wife's pregnant, and I push her down the cellar stairs. Expecting everybody to laugh, especially Dennis and Jim Serpico, and they turned like white. And then they had to send the lady a dozen roses from NBC the next day. You wonder why I'm playing to a room at the Fat Black Pussycat in front of 48 people. But those are the career decisions. It just feels so good at that moment to say that. And I thought Dennis would be howling.
Yeah.
And he fucking looks at me.
Right.
Nick DiPaolo's in studio.
That's good, Chris.
Nick's performing at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. NickDip.com for tickets and additional dates. And Nick's taping a special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to SuffolkTheater.com for tickets. And the Nick DiPaolo podcast is available on iTunes. And go to ConnectPal.com/Nick to subscribe.
Have you been that theater, Suffolk Theater? It's like this ornate. It's like about 430 seats. It's perfect.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's perfect. It's got the toilet with the box and shit.
It's old school. There's some tape around it. How's tape going to not get a fingerprint?
They put duct tape on it.
Yeah, and it's like, this is perfect. Duct tape.
Yeah. My father used to take the thing off and sand it down before he shot anybody. It was a super soaker filled with cat piss. But listen.
Actually, you know what? The great thing, you look out the windows where he got picked up, too, because that was the
was it
restaurant.
Dempsey's?
Yeah, it was Dempsey's. It was right there next to the Brill Building. So in that movie, he goes down, picks him up. And I'm like, I worked there. This is a little exciting. Pop, are you watching this? I worked there.
Did you work there?
No. Oh. It'd be hilarious. I was writing songs for Carol Kay.
That's when that happened. Yeah. You're right in the Brill Building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
What's that from? How did I know that about Carol King?
She was one of the people in the Brill Building. That was Neil Diamond was another one.
Who else? There was like a ton of like songwriters.
Yeah, it went on, and that lasted like 8 years, where they would just put people in rooms and they'd just be writing hit songs. Just like that was a job. Go in to an office, you have a piano, if you're writing.
You get a briefcase. Yeah. It's like you're just on the train with everybody else.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wish I could do that.
Wouldn't it be great?
Oh, I try to teach myself guitar. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I almost started crying. I don't think it's physically possible. I go, how is anybody doing? Am I retired? I can't fucking even. Can you play? You probably can, Ron. You look like a.
You know what? My brother plays. Gail can play, but I never even attempted it. It seemed like I love the sound so much that I didn't want to be somebody that couldn't get there. It's the same way I feel like about being. I assume I should be able to draw like people on TV.
I was very lazy about it though, because I taught myself, but you can only teach yourself so much, and then I was like, that's enough. Yeah, I could have continued
I know the first
it.
8. I know the first 8 notes to 100 songs. You know what I mean? I just don't. I physically moving your fingers in groups.
Right.
You're gonna be arthritic to do that.
Yeah. Well, we were just showing her nephew, who's pretty much self-taught. He's like 12. He plays the shit out of it now.
Yeah.
Just teaching himself. Yeah. I mean, he's tapping like Eddie Van Halen. He's doing that whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, this is kind of easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he can't tell a joke for shit. I mean,
it's all right. He's getting all the pussy at the middle school. That's all. Play the introduction to fucking Van Halen's whatever. Eruption.
And that's what he's playing.
That's what he's
playing
Eruption.
My manager, my old manager, Rick Dorfman. This guy, he just like the guy, he builds guitars. He was in a Van Halen cover band.
Right.
He can play the shit out of a guitar. He couldn't get me a gig to save my life. But he can build a guitar? For Christ's sake.
That is amazing to me that you could take this wood, put it together, put some strings on it, and then other people can play songs.
I know.
It's the most beautiful. And here's another thing. I will watch any TV show about building a canoe. I'll just sit and fucking stare at it. I don't know why. I don't know how you could take
canoe?
wood. Yeah. Listen, you take wood, you shape wood, and then people can get in it and just start fucking paddling around. It's amazing. In a million years, I wouldn't be able to build a canoe.
I tried it at University of Maine. That's what you had to do to get into the school.
Yeah,
that was part of the SATs. You had to debone a moose in under a minute and a half and build a canoe. But yeah, you're right though.
Yeah,
they build sailboats for Christ's sake. Guys are in their garage. They build a sailboat.
It's amazing.
Or if you think that you could do it with the same technology that people have been doing it for hundreds, thousands of years, you're like, how did someone figure out how to do that?
Yeah, they bow the
primitive fucking tools.
Yeah.
And those people, I mean, they seem to us to be stupid. Like they wouldn't be able to do anything here, but they can make a canoe and an arrowhead. Like, you ever look at an actual stone arrowhead? It would take you forever. And they had nothing to do with another rock.
And
they
then
just
you get
sat
one
there.
shot?
Yeah, you get one shot, you fucking lose that. You're like, I was working on that for 6 months. I would finally get the arrowhead, just stick it in my own neck, and just fucking lay there until I was gone. My last words was, I can't be an Indian. I just can't do this.
I know. I guys come to fix my boiler when it breaks and shit.
Amazing.
And I'm like, yeah. They know, they look, there's pipes and I have a pneumatic water tank that hooks up. I still don't know where the shutoff is and shit.
Yeah.
They look at it in 3 seconds and they analyze it and then meanwhile they have a female, fucking body inspector t-shirt on or whatever. And you're like, what the fuck? You're retarded.
FBI.
Yeah,
Sure.
whatever. Is that what it's, yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? And then they know me. I get even more nervous. I love your old shit. What? Not my house.
I love your old shit.
I go, that's the thing now, being a club and like a girl like in her 20s comes walking towards me, good looking, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And they're like, my parents love you. Get the fuck out of my face. I throw a drink at them.
The Nick Apollo Podcast. It's available now on iTunes. You can subscribe at connectpal.com/Nick. And Nick's performing at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. NickTip.com for tickets and all additional dates. And Nick's special is taping Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to SuffolkTheater.com for tickets.
Yeah, come out to that one. We want a nice full house for that one.
You got to have that. Now, you've already talked with the director. You know what you want shot.
Not really.
No.
That's all coming up. So, it'll be a conference call. I'll be half listening. Then I'll get there. I'm like, why is that a yellow curtain, you sons of bitches? And why is there a piano on stage? And they're like, weren't you on the conference call? No, I was fucking watching Sports Center where you guys were yapping away. What do I give a shit? I'm not doing the heavy lifting. I'm showing up and telling my dick jokes and hope it gets on Netflix.
That is always funny, like, when a comedian has to get out and working for the instruments, like there's going to be a band later. You're just in that one little area. Hey, everybody. You just look up, you're like, this can't possibly be a show. If you're in the audience, like, how is this your show? There's all those things to play, and he's just standing there.
I did it. My second year in the business, I did a Christmas party. I still remember it, some corporate gig. And it was like a function room, and there was no stage. They had me in a corner, and the microphone had a cord on it. It was like maybe 6 feet long. I was trapped in the corner. I couldn't even roam. And I'm dying. I'm eating a big bag of shit, and there was nowhere to hide. Usually when you're on a stage, you can kind of, just put your head down and walk to the left when you just threw a bomb. Boy, did I fucking die.
But now look how busy you are. Every time we try to get to do something with you, you're too busy.
Yeah, well, you're not trying hard.
How many times a week on, Chris? Every time we get
3 times.
3 times.
Oh, to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I know. Well,
you're like, I'm working, I got this, I got that, everybody cares.
It's true, man. I got a mortgage. I have a house and living way above my means, and my Coke operation with Henry in Pittsburgh just went sour, so I'm working like a fucking 12-year-old Asian girl making sneakers. I gotta do what I gotta do, Ron. I gotta do what I gotta do. The podcast is the fun thing, but
that's the thing you love.
You guys, I know you. The festival, you wanted me to be a judge, and that was sounding like it was right up my alley.
Dude, it wasn't even being a judge; it's being a prick. It's the fucking.
No, I know that's what I mean.
But we got money.
Prick.
We're not calling you down there for free. We got money.
Nobody brought up money for that.
Why wouldn't you say that? He's got that deal.
No, there's no money mentioned there.
With Henry in Pittsburgh, it all went fucking south. That's part of that scene is where he goes like this. He looks into he just opens the bag to show him money, and then De Niro's like this. He just looks over. That looks good.
And somebody, then he go nice, and Pesci goes, what fucking nice? It's great.
And I feel like I got to go home and watch that.
Again?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in 3 weeks.
Isn't that funny? You'll be laying around and it comes on late at night and you feel obligated.
But
you have to watch it. It feels like you're wasting it,
But
if you know.
I do turn it off once it gets to the fucking weirded out Coke thing, go sideways
Then you
for
get
him.
bored?
Like, I'm not bored. I'm just like, I can't take the tension. You know what I mean? Everything was fun before he's fucking looking for helicopters. I don't need that shit.
You've been through that, Ron? That hits too close to home?
Yeah. Yeah. Except for there weren't any. Like with him, there were helicopters. I had a treetop and hid there. Kids were playing in front of the house. I fucking laid on the floor for 6 hours. I don't know what they're up to out there. They were wearing a wire. But see, that ruined everything. The whole mafia thing got fucked up as soon as drugs came around.
Well, that Gotti movie on HBO with Ahmed Asante, they said it. He does a monologue at the end that predicts all that. Well, they predicted it in The Godfather, obviously, before that.
Well, we'll sell not to our kids, of course.
Well, keep it in the, keep it in the you-know-whos. That's the politically correct. That's the A&E version. We'll keep it in the Polish. They're animals. They eat kawumpkies.
Kawumpkies.
We'll keep it in the Irish. Let them lose their souls.
You ever know you don't even run into people who call themselves Polish anymore? That was a major thing. In my neighborhood, you're either Italian, Irish, or Polish.
Right.
It seems like Polish have disappeared.
It exists in Greenpoint.
Yeah, but
Brooklyn,
they're
very
first
strong.
generation.
Right.
They're first generation.
What do they call themselves now?
Now they think they're white people. That's what annoys me. Everyone thinks they become white.
I know. I get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because, Patrice used to bust my balls about it, on Tough Crowd.
Right.
Why are you defending, white people make you Italian?
Yeah.
Well, okay, but I'll tell you why. Because I have to check off fucking white guy. And every time Columbus Day comes around, everybody's pointing their fingers at me, saying I'm the one, the evil white fucking European male that killed all the Indians. You can't have it both ways, mother.
Yeah.
My mother's parents are from fucking England, so shut up.
Right.
But apparently that drop of black blood is what gave me my 4.6 speed in the 40.
Did you really run 4.6?
4.6 flat every time, consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, that wasn't bad back then, but now they got, guys are running sub 4.3 40s.
Yeah, and you got big guys, like fucking linemen are running that
what
fast.
I used to, you see linebackers.
Yeah.
I was watching the draft. I was laughing back in April. They're like, this is Eric Smith. He's a nose tackle out of the University of Texas. He's 6'5", 310 pounds, runs a 4.8 40, bench presses 500 pounds. But he knocked his girlfriend out with a butter dish last night, so he's going to drop one notch. He's going to drop one notch. She's in critical condition, but this guy's got lateral movement you wouldn't believe.
But that is what changed the game, is that the linemen used to be slow and wrestle people down. They would just wrap themselves, wrestle you down with their big body, and then, you would get up and run back to the huddle. But as soon as now, it's just these explosions.
Exactly right, man.
People used to show up at camp, and they would be out of shape. They're like, what's wrong with you, Bubba Smith? You're 40 pounds overweight. And he would be just sitting around trying to get in shape. Now they don't move away from the stadium.
That's right.
They work out year-round.
Year-round.
Yeah. And they're too fast, they're too strong, and they're exploding each other.
You watch the clips of, like, they always, when they show Frank Gifford playing with the Giants, the linemen had the legs of, like, a female supermodel. These skinny little legs. Now these guys have, their thighs are literally 38 inches, and, you run into their hip with your head and you break your neck. It's crazy.
Alex Karras weighed like 225.
Right.
Everybody made a big deal. Like, look at him. Big guy. Right. Now most of the people in the stands are fatter than that. You know what I mean? Most of the people in the stands would love to get down to 225. It's crazy.
That's true.
Yeah.
High school. You ever see the kids? Ever watch, like, Texas football, Ohio on a Friday night? The linemen are all 300. They average 300 across the front in high school.
In high school.
Their parents are sticking them in the ass with, HGH in the shower. Come on, Billy. We need a scholarship. But
they're all bigger than what the Purple People Eater were back in '69. Those people.
Alan Page.
Yeah, Alan Page would be just a guy. He would just be a fellow.
He was like 215. And they used to call him Big Alan Page.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks are twice his size now.
Yeah. That's the freaky thing.
He was my favorite, too.
That, you're watching quarterbacks and they're 6'6", 6'7", and those guys would have been fucking tight ends.
Right.
You know what I mean? They would be lumbering around. They wouldn't be able to throw a fucking ball. Nobody would have thought of it. No one would have thought, hey, big guy, get in the back. You're like, all right, we're going to find a place for you on the line. It's changed so much.
My dad said that to me 20 years ago. He goes, I think you'll see a day when the quarterbacks are 300 pounds. I go, come on. And I swear to God, about 6 years later, they were, all of a sudden they were 240.
Well, you're looking at Roethlisberger. They can't knock him down.
I know.
And they hit the shit out of that kid. They just pound him. And he's just like, he's like a lineman who just can uncork the ball.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing to see.
They're all built like Hillary. 5'10", 260. Fucking calves like canned hams.
You know, you're picking Trump. You're one of the few people. A lot of people are like, I'm voting for Trump, but they don't think he's going to win. You believe it's true?
No, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Part of me thinks it's such a groundswell that the polls aren't even reading into.
Right.
But another part of me thinks it's rigged for the stupid Hillary.
I think if Trump wins, he wakes up and goes, what the fuck do I do now? You know, now
yeah,
what?
but he surrounds himself.
Yeah.
The people, that's what I'm laughing about this. He doesn't have the qualifications.
Right.
Really? What do you think? It's a figurehead.
Right.
He's going to surround himself with the type of guys I like. Really hawkish, smart business guys.
Uh-huh.
You know, kind of the guys that made this country what it was.
Yeah.
And not fucking Hillary with Robbie Mook as her campaign manager. She's, but what I think it either he wins or it's rigged.
Right.
I mean, we saw what they did to Bernie. Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that rigged in the primaries? According to Bernie, it was rigged.
Bernie that thing went on and on long before, after it should have stopped, though. Like, people were like, at a certain point, is he quitting? And they're like, nope. I mean, if anyone damaged her, it was Bernie. And just like the people who hurt Trump the most have been Republicans. No Democrat has laid a glove on him yet.
Right.
But the Republicans that are like, Reagan's kid just went out the other day and he said, my father would hate him. My father would be disgusted with him. And so would my stepmom.
Yeah, what does that guy know? But no, I like I said, I'm not thrilled with him either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm certainly...
Is there a guy out there that because I don't know if there's anyone anymore in any party that would get me like,
I don't
this
either,
is good
Ron.
news.
I don't either. I go, really? Out of the 300 million plus people, these are the, and just because, people, they love to, how can you vote? I go, I don't love Trump either. I'm just, but Jesus, we can't have an extension of what we had for 8 years, in my opinion.
I think one thing he's going to change is there's going to be a billionaire every fucking election now. Like Zuckerberg will be back in 4 years. Zuckerberg will be like half a fucking retard with $60 billion.
He's already influencing it, you know, by fucking crushing any conservative fucking opinion on his stupid Facebook horse shit.
I've never been on Facebook once. I don't know what's
It's terrific.
There. Is it good?
Oh, my goodness. There's pictures of my mother at a baby shower, and then I'll have some black guy giving me the finger. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't even know how to use I don't know how to use it either. I told my wife, I go, will you figure this out and plug my gigs, please?
Do you Facebook at all, Chris?
No, I stopped Facebook. I don't use anything. I stopped Facebooking years ago. Yeah,
I don't know how
fucking annoying.
I never learned how to use it, actually.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Do you do
I have one, but I haven't. Yeah, I'll use Twitter. Facebook I just have because I have so many family members who use that. So it's like a way for them to get in touch with me. But I don't put anything on it and I don't use it anymore.
I have a fan page and a personal page. It's already confusing enough. It took me a year to figure out which was which.
Yeah.
You think it would say fan page, and you have to.
But what you don't want is a bigger personal page than your fan page. That would be rough. You're like, oh shit, my personal page just passed them.
I stumbled on my personal page once, and my Aunt Carol's like, I listened to Nick's podcast. Interesting. That way, she heard what I was saying. That is not for my Aunt Carol. There's some really harsh shit going on there. She's dropping the C word every 3 seconds. This ought to be a great Thanksgiving.
Interesting.
I don't know how to use Facebook. I really don't. I like Twitter. 140 characters or less. That's about my speed.
That's as far as we want to go with it.
Yeah.
Nick DiPaolo's podcast is available now on iTunes. Subscribe at connectpal.com/Nick. And Nick's taping a special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to suffolktheater.com for tickets. And Nick's performing this Saturday at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Go to nickdip.com for tickets.
So we got the special ready to go. You know everything is going to be on there.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I'm trying to rake it into some order. I don't sleep well, so my memory, there's nights where I was just in St. Louis, like the first night. I hadn't been on in about a week or whatever. I felt like I was doing my first open mic. I'm jumping around. I'm like, oh my God, this special's a month away. I'm fucked. I don't believe in segues to begin with, you know. But I'm trying to group it together, and you saw it. Like the first 28 minutes is on diseases. I don't know how that happened.
It is disease heavy. You're right.
Huh?
It is disease heavy in the beginning. That's true.
Was it too much?
No. It was.
I can't help
it was
it.
absolutely hilarious.
Dude, she called me and I'm like, what do you she couldn't fucking stop laughing enough to tell me that she just saw your act. So I'm just like, slow down, say it to me again. But you were so pumped.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
It was a fantastic
But Gail,
show.
be on the next week, just the opposite. I saw a couple of young kids, like, as soon as I turned my back to get a drink, they ran out. Because I was shitting on Bernie or something. They're such pussies. But, you know, it was a little tough. The room was a little tougher, last week. But that's a great room.
It is a really great room.
Isn't it? You got, jazz playing when you come in, and it's got that vibe.
I feel like it might be a little too great for the audience. Like when I sat down, I was like, I might be too comfortable.
Yes.
Like I was in just like this amazing big armchair, and they're like, I don't know, the lighting is just really
They're couches.
relaxing.
You guys are in couches. I need like electric chairs.
Yeah,
for people.
It was like
that
you
comfortable,
were sitting in like a throne.
like wooden.
It was like all that really great heavy
but you know what,
furniture with
it's
the
really,
lanterns.
but
And
I like that it isn't the way that they're using it, that these guys can go out and work on their specials. But who was it? Anthony DeVito, who said that he was standing.
He opened.
Yeah. So then he says to us, he was like, he's with you and Colin, and you guys are talking, and he said he felt crazy because he loved Tough Crowd so much. So he just felt like he had walked in.
Am I in Tough Crowd right now?
And he goes, I didn't say anything. I kept thinking of things that I wanted to jump in with, but I couldn't do it. And that's what you guys never get. You know what I mean? You don't get that matters to people.
No, you're right. I think about it more now that I'm my age. I have so many young comics saying that. Yeah. And then I picture myself. I remember meeting Robert Klein and saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I loved your appearances on Letterman and you know, one of my favorites and stuff. And he goes, give me a drink, kid. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And these young kids come up, even the guys that aren't comics, like after the show, I'm talking 21 years old. I'm in Arizona. And they're like, I love Tough Crowd. I go, trying to do the math in my head. And they're like, no, I found it on the internet. And imagine they're clamoring for it.
I know.
Imagine that. That's how PC the world has become.
That is, well, I've gone back and I was talking to Colin about this before. And I watched a couple YouTubes and I'm like, how the fuck did this get on TV in the first place? Like, you just can't believe it. There's really nothing like it today.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And people always go, well, Bill Maher had politically incorrect before that, you know? And it's like, they weren't saying what we were saying.
Well, that show always looks prepped to me. Like, people come in, like, going to make some points. Where you guys were just in there throwing elbows. Like, Colin would bring up a topic, but God knows where it would go.
Right.
Yeah.
And some people hate, like Louis hated it.
Yeah.
Even now, Louis said, I remember the table, Louis C.K. goes, you guys look stupid on that show.
But that was part of the appeal, is that it was real. You know what I mean? It was real.
Exactly. We didn't want it slick. And, you know, the Daily Show was opposite us. And Colin would always say that. If something went wrong, we're going to air it anyways, warts and all. That's what, you know, Quinn, he's the real deal when it comes to, so.
All right, we got a hard out today because
what did I do?
No, Opie returns, and this is going. We use the same studio as him, and this is his first afternoon show
today.
Yeah, today.
Well, maybe I'll stick around. No, I can't. Then I'll be banned from Jim Show.
You got to make up your mind. You got to choose.
I'll go with Dr. Laura. She's a cranky twat. I love her.
But, Chris, why don't you plug again?
Nick DiPaolo's been in studio. Nick's performing at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut this Saturday, October 8th. Go to nickdip.com for tickets and all additional dates. And Nick's taping his hour-long special Saturday, October 28th at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. Go to SuffolkTheater.com for tickets. And the Nick DiPaolo podcast is available now on iTunes. Subscribe at connectpal.com/Nick.
Beautiful.
Someone just wrote to me that exactly 12 years ago tomorrow, the Tough Crowd went off the air. Isn't that weird?
Unbelievable.
That feels like it was 4 years ago to me.
I was 17.
Yeah, 17 years old.
At the 12.
When I was 17.
Why do I have great pubes?
All right. Anything else we need to plug? What's the TV show that our guest was plugging today?
That's The Good Place. That airs Thursdays on NBC at 8:30 p.m. Mr. Ted Danson.
It's the 19th hit TV show for Ted Danson.
I was listening on the way in here. I'm going, this guy, and he's out plugging it. Like, what kind of dough does this guy have?
I can't imagine.
Jesus H. Christ.
And his wife has another hit show.
Yeah, Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, that's it.
I said it right?
Yeah.
You did.
And like you said, the last time we talked to her, she was like, oh, yeah, Larry David's been in our fucking guest house all summer because he had just gotten broken up with his chick. And I'm like, what kind of money do you got that Larry can be happy in the guest house? You know what I mean? On the other side of the pool. Like, this is good enough. I don't need to go anywhere.
Ted, the toilet's clogged.
All right, so switch over to what channel?
XM 103, Series 206.
And you'll hear Opie's return to radio, the first time that he's done
Good for Opie.
Afternoon radio, I'm going to guess since 2001? 2001, since, I don't know why, I think Opie fucked Anthony in the church. Something happened. Something happened.
I was at Mass that day. I was at They got semen all over my tuxedo.
All right, so coming up next, Opie's return.